Hello, and thank you for checking out my Batman Arkham Origins hard mode no damage run. The majority of my commentary will highlight combat strategy, and therefore will mostly apply during encounters with enemies. So while I'm moving from point A to point B, there won't be much for me to discuss. At no time during this run were reloads or restarts allowed if damage was taken, and the entire run was conducted with counter icons turned off. If any damage was taken at all, a full restart of the game was required. If you have any questions on anything in this run, please feel free to leave a comment. Otherwise, sit back, relax, and thank you again for joining me for this challenge run.
No, please, not again! Oh, I'll kill you, all right. But by the time
Alright, so right in front of us is going to be our first instance where damage is possible, and this just requires us countering the thug in front of us as he tries to hit us with the baseball bat. So right there, and then the next counter will come up with the guy that was on the ground. We'll have to counter him as well, and then we'll be able to move on. So with all that said, let me just go ahead and get this out of the way and tell you guys that this game was incredibly buggy and glitchy for me. You'll see that throughout the run, you know, various enemy physics will glitch and they'll fly into the air or do something wonky, but this game is very, very difficult to no damage just because of how much goes wrong that shouldn't happen. So with that out of the way, we're going to go into our first room of enemies. So we're going to take out the guy on the left first, while the guy on the right is fiddling with the component over there. And this early on in the game, basically we're going to be relying on building combo to take enemies down. Now, for whatever reason, there's the first bug right there. I go to initiate the takedown and it just doesn't work. So I lost my combo there and had to, you know, get it again. So the primary way in the early game that I build combo is just using cape stun. Use cape stun beatdown, and then from there you'll build up to your 8 count combo, and then you can do your takedown. Now that is risky because there are no counter icons on, so you have to be aware enough and comfortable enough with the game's mechanics and the animations from the enemies to see that you're about to get hit, or to feel, more importantly, feel that you're about to get hit, and go ahead and time that counter correctly. Now later on in the run, and you'll see here, basically when we get out of the prison, I'm going to do a lot of routing to basically get upgrades that I need to make the rest of the run as simple as possible. So again, there's a couple of guys in front of us. We're going to start with a cape stun. We'll start going on beatdown, and then as enemies come in, you know, we'll counter them and then keep doing the beatdown until we build a combo of 8, and then we can do the takedowns and then move on.
This gate is blocking my way. I need to grapple up and over it quickly.
So for the heavy in front of us, we're going to use a technique that, as far as I know, is exclusive to this game. Same as some of the other things we're going to do. When we come out of the cutscene, what we're going to do is we're going to grapple, like use the grapple gun and pull this guy to us, and then if we interact with his physics, his hitbox, he will automatically go to the ground. Now what happened there was I was trying to do a takedown and the game was bugging. The game is, at least in my experience, is very, very iffy when you try and do a ground takedown or a ground finisher. So you'll see that a lot in this run, that I'll go to do a takedown when someone's laying on the ground and nothing will happen. And that's, again, I go back to my first point of this game was very difficult because of that. Alright, so for that room, while I was talking there wasn't anything different. Again, cape stuns, prioritizing getting combo, and then using finishers once you have combo.
They say crime doesn't pay. You're a dead man walking, Lo! You heard the man.
Okay, so we're gonna have a bunch of enemies here, and basically we're just gonna drop right down on top of them. We're not going to do a whole lot different here except throw a smoke bomb, and the reason I do the smoke bomb is because there's already someone on the ground. So because there's already someone on the ground, we can just go ahead and take that guy out, and that'll just remove one extra variable from the field for us to have to deal with, and then everything else will go as described in, you know, every other encounter so far.
Looks like I scared him off.
What's all this?
I'm too late. Commissioner Loeb is dead. Black Mask has a lot to answer for.
So for the enemies in front of us, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and smoke bomb the area and just stop them from aggressing on me, and then I'm going to climb up. Now, something I didn't kind of realize while I was practicing this strategy, this is a speedrunning strategy, is that it seems like the door will not open when you fly into it unless there's no smoke. So, but basically, just climb up there and then you fly towards the door, and if you do it properly, the door will open while those enemies are still like aggroed to you, and you can just go past them. No need to fight them.
I told you to grab the memory card. You wanted it smashed, so I smashed it. It better be, or the next thing that gets smashed will be your face.
The memory card is damaged, but I should be able to recover most of the data back at the Batcave.
Alright, so our first boss fight of the game. Basically what we're going to do is as Croc comes in, we're just going to cape stun once. Now I mess it up, but all you need to do is cape stun once and then you can initiate your beatdown. And what we're going to do for this fight is every single time we beat him down and then he jumps back, he's going to cycle through and enemies are going to spawn in. And we're just going to ignore those enemies. We're going to treat this like we've done everything else up to this point, where we cape stun and focus on the one target, and then do the counters as we're doing the cape stun to get the beat down. Now, one thing I didn't note on was you'll see like right after we come out of this, and as I came out of the first beatdown, Croc does a ground pound. You have to dodge roll that so you don't take damage from it. And I always suggest dodge rolling away from Croc and trying to get as far back from him as possible, because when this happens, you're stuck in place, and if you're too close, enemies will be able to hit you. So we're going to throw batarangs to explode the canister, and then again, we're just going to treat it like everything else. We're going to cape stun, beat down, and then if enemies come in, we'll counter them at the proper time, and then go right back into beating down Croc. And so this will be the last one. If you look at the top right, his health bar is basically finished. So at this point, he'll jump to our back right, and he'll grab that canister. All we need to do is battering that and blow it up. And as a side note, you cannot be too close to those when they blow up, otherwise you will take splash damage. And that's Killer Croc fight.
Your boss, where's he going? Boss of me is me. You want teeth? I want answers.
Wait till Black Mask's assassins get through with you.
What assassin?
Whoever wins is gonna be famous and rich.
At least we know he won't be ugly.
Right there.
I'm taking you in. Not tonight.
such thing as a Batman, huh?
Are you back for the night, sir? Shall I warm up Christmas dinner?
No. It's going to be a long night, Alfred. I just ran into a human-shaped crocodile. Told me Black Mask has hired assassins to kill me.
Assassins, sir? Sir, I may be stating the obvious here.
There's only one person in Gotham who can get his hands.
You're sure this is wise, sir?
I know what I'm doing.
Well, in case you change your mind and want to train tonight instead, I'll keep your training facility active. Sir, to make your travels easier, I went ahead and set up some auto-nav points at different areas of the city. One of my preset destinations should take you right to Jezebel Plaza.
I'm tracking it too. It appears the control towers you use for your auto-nav systems are putting out a jamming signal. Storm damage. You'll have to go down there and find that out for yourself, sir. Got it. We're close to one now.
Okay, so we've landed inside the radio tower, and essentially this is another tutorial section. So this is going to be very, very scripted in what you are meant to do. So there's really not a whole lot to talk to here. So just, if you're going through this yourself, just follow what I do, and you'll get through this without any issues.
Attacking head-on is a good way to get myself shot. And probably the hostage, too. But they won't expect an attack from above. Nobody ever does.
Is that thing out there with...
Screw this. I quit.
What was that? You think it's the guy that hired us?
Get yourself to safety and call the police. They'll want to see what's going on here.
Okay, I will. I can fix the tower. Whatever you want. Just please.
I don't think this tower malfunction is from storm damage. I need to set up a crime scene and find out what happened. I should start by identifying the victim. The victim's name is David Shannon, a Gotham Optics employee sent here to repair a faulty network tower. But what killed him? Scanning the DNA impact on the wall should provide an answer. Impact analysis indicates the victim was killed by some kind of explosion, originating at that access panel. I should scan it for additional clues. It looks like the panel was rigged to detonate when swiped with a key card. Someone really didn't want this tower repaired, and it looks like that same someone left a set of fingerprints behind. Alfred, I'm uploading some prints for... I can bypass the booby-trapped access panel with my cryptographic sequencer, but I'll need the encryption codes from the victim's access card. Reviewing the crime scene will show me where it is. This card has the codes I need to hack any of the network tower's access panels. Alfred, contact the GCP.
Well, if it isn't the King Thug himself. Figured it was only a matter of time before you showed up. Sorry about the mess downstairs.
Who is this?
Think of me as a great big mystery, one you're never going to solve.
Enigma, then.
Oh, you must think you're so clever. Well, how's this for clever? I've taken control of towers all over the city. As long as they're active, your Batwing's useless. And it looks like it's gonna stay that way. I mean, this one's practically begging to be taken offline, and you still can't hack it. Pun intended, of course. Black Mask's not going to like this.
What are you talking about?
Wouldn't you like to know?
With the jammer offline, I can travel here with the Batwing.
I see you've regained control of the Batwing, sir.
That's the...
Alright, so we've entered a point in the run where I decided early on that I needed to basically get multi-batarangs as early as I possibly could. So what we're going to be doing for a while is we're going to be going around and getting just a bunch of like collectibles, breaking, you know, different cameras or network relays, getting anarchy tags, anything I can do to get experience so that I can get the abilities I need. Now, the pathing through here is not mine. This is 100% accredited to the speedrunning community. I took their pathing for the 100% speedrun and basically just adapted it to this until I had enough XP to get what I needed. Now, I want to explain why I'm doing this. So, as I alluded to earlier, it's 4 multi-batarangs, and something that's exclusive to Origins that I don't believe existed in any of the other games, to include Arkham Knight, is that in this game, if you use multi-batarangs, you build combo very quickly. And in this game, similar to all the other games, if you do any action, you're allowed to do a single action that has an effect. So you're allowed to do a dodge roll, an attack, use a gadget, whatever, right? You're allowed to do an action for free, and then the next action, if it's not one of those types, you'll lose your combo. So what multi-batarangs allows you to do is hit multiple targets, and for every one of those targets you hit, you get 1 combo point. So when we get the full upgrade on multi-batarang, we'll be able to hit 3 targets every time we hit the button. So every time we hit the button, we'll get basically a +3 on the counter. And being that for this entire run, 8 is the sweet spot for me to start being able to do combos, to build combo to do takedowns or finishers or whatever, we need to have the ability to do that as quickly as possible. Now, exclusive to this game that I don't think was in any of the other ones is that multi-batarang does a massive amount of damage. Just throwing them at enemies destroys their health. It's very, very common for you to throw those at enemies once you've built a combo of 8 and instantly, quote-unquote, kill them, right? Or knock them out, whatever. So the whole point of this pathing around and getting this experience, again, is so that I can get this multi-batarang skill fully upgraded, and so I can get the multi-batarang takedown. So if you've played any of the other Arkham games, you'll recognize that that is the one. You build combo up, and then when you use it, any enemy that's laying on the ground that's been knocked down will be instantly taken out. So what we're going to do, the primary means of combat in this game for this run, is going to be to hit somebody until you build a combo of 2. It doesn't work if you're on a combo of 1. You have to be on a combo of 2 or higher. And then we're going to throw multi-batarangs, and then we'll dodge roll. Throw multi-batarangs, dodge roll. Throw multi-batarangs, dodge roll. And we'll keep doing that until we build a count of 8, And then because we've hit so many enemies on the ground, we can do our multi-battering takedown and instantly, like that, wipe out massive amounts of enemies. So because that combination is so strong and just so overpowered in this game, we have, like, it didn't make sense for me not to get it as early as possible. So that's all I'll say on that. I'll let the rest of this play out. There should be a tag on this labeling it as XP acquisition or whatever. So if you don't want to watch kind of me go through and get all this stuff, you're more than welcome to skip ahead in the video. There will be a point coming up soon where I will have to engage enemies on this bridge. And that'll be the only time during this like XP grind where we'll have the opportunity to take damage in direct combat. So feel free to hang out and watch and kind of see what all this looks like. Otherwise, you can go ahead and skip to the next section.
This is a long bridge. I should use my grapnel accelerator. Trust me, I'll take out those assassins before they even know I'm there.
It's not just that. If some curious child looks out to see who's pattering across their rooftop, they'll expect Santa Claus, not a black-clad bat creature.
I don't patter. There's something hidden here. It looks like a page from a journal. Looks like I'm the first one here. I need to find a spot where I can stake this place out unnoticed. Penguin. Not a dime changes hands in this city he can't tell you about. If anyone knows where Black Mask and his assassins are, it's him.
Alright guys, so we've got the multi-batterings, however we don't have the multi-battering takedown yet. To get that would have required way too much time invested flying around picking up, items and stuff for experience. So I didn't do that for that exact reason. So what we have to do here is basically build combo and then just keep hitting people until the batterings knock them out. So you'll see what I'm doing here is that, and every time you hear that like pow, that big sound, that's them getting taken out. So what we're doing is we're just throwing batterings until we build combo. Once we build combo of 8 or higher, we'll use that to finish somebody off. Otherwise, we'll just keep throwing those batterings until they lay everyone out on the floor. And again, you cannot use that method unless you have a 2 count or higher. So one of the things you'll notice that I was doing there is I would run at enemies and jump kick them. Whenever you jump kick an enemy, you build a combo of 2, so it's a very good way to enter into that cycle and be able to then immediately use the multi-battering. So until we get the multi-battering takedown, that will now become the go-to strategy. So before we got multi-battering, it was cape stun, beat down until you have combo, then take someone out, rinse and repeat. Now we don't need to cape stun, we just need to hit, build a combo of 2, then multi-battering, dodge roll, multi-battering, dodge roll, etc. Until we build combo, then we can take somebody down and then repeat that sequence. So for these enemies, it won't be a whole lot different. I like to start this off by doing a ledge takedown on that guy, but for whatever reason, the game pulled me up over the ledge, so that didn't work out. But that's okay, it's fine. We'll just have one extra guy to deal with, more than I normally would deal with here.
Well, look who just showed up. Have you really decided to try and... Typical. I mean, why apply cognitive resources to a problem when you can just throw crap at it? You know, if you had asked nicely, I'd have opened it for you. Congratulations are in order. Maybe you're not as stupid as I've been led to believe.
Why are you doing this, Enigma?
Correct, I like it.
Alright, so again guys, we're going to be grinding some more experience, so you'll see that I'm doing more of the same as earlier, picking things up, destroying network relays, getting our anarchy tags, things like that. Again, this is moving towards the ultimate goal of being able to get Bat Swarm. Or sorry, not Bat Swarm, multi-battering takedown. And to also get us ahead on the other abilities that we'll need at certain points in the run.
Now I can access the SIM card I took from that arms dealer and hack Penguin's communications.
Penguin's pretty pissed off about the deal going south. Yeah, if I was involved in that, I'd be on my way out of the city.
Alfred, I'm reading a signal from Penguin's men, but it's not associated with any known wireless frequency.
Ah, yes, I see it here. Looks like Penguin runs his own private wireless network, using laptop transmitters serving as ad hoc comm stations. He's feeding his men frequencies via two-way radio. There are 2 of these comm stations near your position.
Good. Mark them on my map. If I can find and hack those walkie-talkies, I can triangulate Penguin's position.
Alright, so we're going to enter combat by just dropping on this guy, same as we did. That builds a combo of 2, however, for whatever reason, they missed and they didn't hit, so not a big deal. We just had to, as I showed you guys earlier, hit a couple of guys, build a combo of 2, and then we can go back to doing our takedowns with the multi-batterings. And also the just regular takedowns.
Batman? You expect me to believe that?
I need to find the next comm station. Then I'll be able to triangulate Penguin's position.
Then mess with our shipment, like saving his own ass. So next time you want to make up a story, you better hope the person you're telling it to is dumber than you are. Oh wait, that's right. There ain't no one dumber than you.
Mr. Cobblepot, I swear it was the Bat. He dropped Ricky off the roof of the clock tower straight into the Christmas tree.
I don't care what you think you saw. If you're not back here with my money in the next 10 minutes, I'll cut your damn eyeballs out. And then you won't have to worry about seeing.
So I do want to make a note here that it's very important for some of the relays here in this area, because there are enemies below, that you actually hit them and you don't miss them. It's also very important that you, at least in my opinion, that you break them or destroy them in the way that I do. Specifically the one that was behind me, because that one is the one that you could potentially alert all of the enemies, and if you alert them, you will not be able to get the anarchy symbol that I'm about to get without having to beat everyone down. So the way that I like to do this is I like to go on the outside of the area where the enemies are at. And so the anarchy symbol is like literally on the top of this area that we're in. You could barely see it there. So since you have to walk into this area and you have to zoom to get it, you need to make sure that when you go into that area, there's no one there. There is a guy that will path around. He'll kind of come down and then turn around and go back. So you want to make sure that that guy is not there, because if he sees you, you will get pulled into combat. And you would have to fight all of those enemies to get that 5,000 XP.
Available units call-in status. Possible assignment incoming.
Thinking about signing up to fight in the boiler deck. You won't last 5 minutes, but I've been training, lifting weights and crap. Really? Doesn't look like it. Like you're in better shape. Never thought I was. You'll see. I'm gonna be king of the ring. You'll eat your words. I'll definitely show up to look you fight. Then we'll see who's eating what.
All right, so technically we're done now with XP. As we go into this this main mission, once we complete it, that should give us the amount of experience we need. Now for the enemies in this area, I always like to go up here and just kind of wait it out. This guy will usually path over here. He'll either go behind this Connex or in front of it. Either way, just wait for him to go and then you can stealth take him down. From there, what I like to do is try and get into a position where both of these enemies are together. Now, unfortunately, they split up here, which is very rare for them to do. Usually they stay somewhat together. So this was a little bit of an off-script moment. So I was trying to figure out exactly where to stage so that I could hit them with the multi-battering. And so this multi-battering will be a manual throw, so we'll hit both of them. When you do the multi-battering manually, you need to make sure that they actually all go down. You'll see much later in the run that there's a couple of times where I throw multi-batterings and they'll like impact a stairwell or a rail or something like that. And then that puts you into a position where if you would have gone, they would see you and you'd get shot. So just take it from me, be a little bit slow and cautious there and make sure that they're knocked down before you go to aggress onto them. Alright, and again, once we complete this, now we have the XP that I need. So, you know, running around and getting every little item and all these things that we've been doing for the last 30 minutes or whatever it's been for XP is no longer required. So now we're just playing straight through the main game because I have the 4 points that I need to get the multi-battering takedown. And the only reason this is so complicated on Origins is because Origins skill acquisition mechanics gatekeep you from getting things you want. So whereas in Arkham City, for example, if you've played that game, they just gave you a bunch of skills and you could pick when you wanted to get them in any order. Here, for example, with the multi-battering takedown, I have to fully upgrade my armor, like ballistic armor, just to have access to it. So it makes it a little bit more of a pain to get the things that you want. Okay, so as we get to the ship, I like to come in from behind this guy. If you come in from the left side, there's a small % chance he'll see you and automatically shoot you. That's just a bug with the game, so come in directly behind that guy. Once we take him out, we're going to come across and we're going to take out the next sniper. And if we do this fast enough, we'll be able to move in this direction and get into position as this second guy paths back towards his buddy here. And as soon as he turns to the right, we want to go ahead and go down. Now, if you're fast enough, which I got hung up on the stairs, you can actually get here and do a double takedown. You could see for a brief moment, the prompt was there and then it went away and I got the single. So that's what you want. You want to do the double takedown there, but if you can't get it, it's fine. You just do what I'm doing here. From there, we're going to dodge roll. Again, dodge rolling is completely silent. They cannot hear that. So dodge rolling towards an enemy, as long as you don't go past that enemy so that they visibly see you, you're completely silent and stealthed. But we'll take that guy out, and that's just to get to the guy on the bridge before he gets close enough down here. We want to kind of keep these guys spread apart. So as we take down this last guy, we're going to go to smoke pellet. We're going to throw smoke onto the last two guys, and then we can silent to a loud takedown one, and then just beat down the other one, and we'll get that nice slow-mo finisher, and then we can move on. Okay, so as we enter the ship, we're going to have our first two knife enemies, or bladed enemies. So what I like to do here is grapple pull one just to displace his movement so they don't both try to attack me at the same time. And then from there, it's basically just ping-ponging back and forth between the two, using the dodge roll as a buffer to keep my combo so that I buy myself some time for one of them to stand back up. So as we go into this room, we're going to do a combat takedown, and then we're going to go straight into throwing batarangs and dodge rolling. Now, unluckily, I lost the combo there, so I had to improvise this, but generally what you would do is not lose the combo. You would build up enough that you would basically knock every single person on the ground, and then be able to do the multi-battering finisher. And we lost the combo again there at the end because I only had a combo of 7 and everyone was on the ground. So just a little bit of unluckiness there, but it's okay, we got through it. So for the enemy group coming up, I think what the game wants you to do is glide into them. I don't do that because it whips the camera around and kind of makes it hard to know where you are, if that makes any sense. So as I did there, basically just come in, land right beside the guy, give him the 1-2, build your 2 count, and then from there you can start going with the multi-batterings and the dodge rolling to build combo. And luckily falling in water doesn't do damage, because if I remember correctly, the game just says, fuck you, Hayate, we're not going to let you jump on this thing. And it just keeps like, he keeps impacting like a solid, like an invisible wall and sliding to the left. So at some point I get annoyed with it and I'm like, all right, fine, I'll bring it all the way to me and then maybe you'll be happy. But that's just Origins being Origins. So.
Sounds like Penguin will be in his office. Tracy should know where that is. I'll make her talk.
Now then.
I'm looking for Black Mask. Where is he?
I ain't here to talk. I'm here to kick your ass.
This is your last.
Alright, so the easiest boss fight in any Arkham game ever. Just literally kick him in the face and boss fight over. Alright, so for these enemies, what I like to do is just kind of stand still and counter the first one that runs in. And then from there I can kind of gauge where the enemies are coming. And then answer that accordingly with dodge rolls. So because they were all kind of coming in from like the left and the right in front of me, I just start dodge rolling backwards. But you'll see that this is very much, you know, the same thing. It's no different than what I've been describing to you guys. We're just gonna get all of them on the ground, build our combo, take them all out, and that's that. And a cool like little RNG thing was that the guy we needed to interrogate was right by the exit door. So, not that it's a speed run, but it saved a couple of seconds, which was kind of cool.
All right. He's in his office. Only way in is through the theater, on the other side of the casino. But you'll never get past Tracy.
Tracy is not a problem.
Oh.
That worked better than the last interrogation.
So we have two guys in front of us. All we're gonna do is we're gonna grapple up, we'll ledge take down the first guy, and then we'll just come in and beat the crap out of the second one. Very, very simple, very consistent, and near zero risk there. So we're gonna have 3 enemies here, and basically what I like to do is just run in and hit all of them. That usually will build enough combo that I can ping pong back and forth between the 3. Now for whatever reason the second guy there just instantly died, I don't know why. Just again, Origins being buggy. But usually you'll have 3, and that makes it very easy to ping pong back and forth with the timing of all of that. And then obviously once you build enough combo, you can just do the multi-battering takedown.
Baczynski's come too, and now he's on the lam. I should have tied him up and called the cops to get him. Alfred, I had a run-in with the casino.
Alright, so as we come into this room, we're going to have 3 enemies here, and it's very important that you basically look and see where the guy with the gun is moving, because sometimes he'll actually be looking right at you, and then if you drop down too early, he could potentially shoot you. So you're going to be very careful and make your play based off of whatever he's doing. So taking those other 2 guys out, pretty simple as you saw there. As soon as we come out of this cutscene, we're going to have a crap ton of guys. It's very, very important that you try and put all of these enemies in front of you. So you'll see that I basically move away to judge on where these enemies are coming from. And then once I know where they're coming from, then I can decide what area I want to basically stand my ground at and fight. But it's a little hard to hear maybe, but there is guys running over and picking up the gun, so you need to make sure that you're prioritizing that if you hear it, that you're interrupting that with multi-batterings. So coming out of that, I'm going to place explosive gel in 3 very specific spots. Through all of my testing, these were the best spots to put it at, so I put it at the one by the machine, the one in front of the 2 machines, and then the one basically where the carpet and the wood kind of meet. And the reason for that is because once we open this door, 3 enemies are going to filter out, and all of them have guns. And at this point in the game, I don't have the tools required to safely deal with this. So what we're going to do is I'm just going to let them all run out to my pre-planned explosive gel, do what I did there, explode it, and then that will allow me to basically get the guns out of all of their hands and take down 2 of the 3 and then deal with the last one. Very effective strategy, very, very safe and very simple, as long as you know exactly where to put the explosive gel.
I'm really deep in it. Candy! She's earned herself a dry slap, she has.
That better be lip gloss you're reaching for.
I knew you didn't have what it takes to fight me fair! Cobblepot ain't gonna be happy when he hears about this! Come on, let me out! This ain't funny! Let me out!
Okay, so very similar to the strategy prior to this, we're going to put explosive gel basically all around this door. And the reason for that is when we go to open the door, we're going to have a bunch of enemies come in, to include one of the big heavies. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to allow them to filter in. I'll explode the gel as soon as it allows me to. And then we're just going to full send on the big guy. Just beat him down. And then once he's beaten, we're going to just keep running. We're not going to fight the last 3 guys, I believe it was. We're just going to keep going, go to the door, and we should be able to go right in without any issue. Alright, so as we enter this room, we're going to run to the right. We want to stealth take down this guy, and then we're immediately going to go up to the Raven, or whatever this is. But we're going to go up top, and then I'm going to drop down. Didn't mean to impact that. Well, you want to drop down. We want to take this guy out second. Once that's complete, we're going to go back up, and we're going to go basically all the way across to the other side of the room. And we're going to get the guy that's pathing on this side. Now once this guy's taken out, we're going to go up the stairs and go back up top. And then we're going to wait for the guy closest to us to get where he can't see the guy that's furthest away from us. And then we're just going to glide down. We'll take him out. And then we'll take down the guy that is right in front of us. And then after we take this guy down, there's going to be one more that's kind of like at the top left of this area as I'm looking. So we're going to go back up top. And then we're just going to wait for that guy to get in a position where I can glide down, and then we'll take him out, and that'll be the room cleared. The other advantage to this is this is a very repeatable strategy. It's very consistent. So you can knock out one of the challenges, which is to clear a room. I believe it's without being seen, or without being seen and using your detective vision. But that will satisfy that requirement, so we'll get a huge amount of XP for meeting that challenge.
Now, where were we? Candy.
You suggested little...
Now, as we come out of this cutscene, we're going to have a bunch of enemies. Now, I just start throwing batarangs because... I don't know, man. These enemies are, like, kind of a pain in the ass. Like, the random, like, bullshit hits you get here are enough to make you go mad, so... I found that by just throwing batarangs right at the beginning, it kind of staggers them a little bit and lets me get into a better position. So I would highly suggest doing that.
The limit you placed on yourself.
Alright, so my favorite boss fight in the entire game, and probably the entire Arkham series. So basically the way that I approach this, there's a couple of rules. So rule number one, since you don't have counter icons on, it's kind of hard to see. But if there's not a slow motion point, the counter timing is when he moves. When he physically moves to attack you, boom, that's when you hit the counter. If it's in a slow motion portion, you wait for the slow motion, like right there, you'll wait for the slow motion to start, and that'll be the indicator that you need to counter. Now you'll see that, like right there, I'm doing the Batclaw grapple pull. That can only be done on a certain frequency. If you do it too often, you'll actually get hit trying to do it. Or you take a chance of getting hit trying to do it. So the way that I do it is basically anytime you do a grapple, you have to do 2 regular counter and hits before you can do another grapple. So it's, you know, grapple, hit, counter hit, grapple, hit, and then you just kind of do that over and over again. Now, something else I want to point out, because it's very important, is I'm only hitting him twice. Every opportunity I have to go aggressive, I only ever hit him twice. The reason I do that is because if you don't hit him more than twice, there's a mechanic where he'll use his claw, and he'll basically stick a canister to you, and the explosive canister will come to you, and you'll have to counter that. That will never happen if you only hit him twice every time you're allowed to hit him. So it's more of a safety thing. That canister pull is a very, very tight timing window to counter. You can do it, but there's no reason to do it if you can just hit them twice and have the mechanic never activate. So again, you'll see we'll counter, we'll do grapple, hit, I'll wait for him to attack, he attacks, I'll hit him. We're in the slow motion, so I just wait for the slow-mos for the prompt to counter. Now I'm just waiting. I'm being very defensive here. We'll hit 1, 2, and then that's it. We'll go again with the grapple, because it's been long enough for me to use grapple again without any risk. So we'll go 1, 2. And anytime you get this slow motion like that, that's when it's transitioning between phases. And the transition between phases is when you have to do this crazy, like, counter thing. So this is transitioning into the final phase, phase 3. As we beat him up, anytime we do the beatdowns, right after those beatdowns, you'll want to go ahead and do a takedown because you have the combo to do that. So you'll see coming out of it, we hit E, go right into the combo finisher or whatever. And now we're just doing the exact same thing. Anytime he moves, that's when you counter. And then coming out of it, we'll hit 1, 2, and then stop. Well, we did the grapple there, so now it should be 2 1-2s. Okay, so we do 1, 2. Okay, we got the slow-mo, so I didn't get that. If you get the slow-mo, it counts as one of those wait opportunities, so to speak, before you can do the grapple again. So we hit him twice there. On the next one, we would be able to grapple. I don't know if I do it or not. No, it looks like I just went for the straight attack. But on the next one, I'll definitely counter him, or pull him. Yep, perfect. And I mean, that's the fight, guys. It really just takes practice on getting into that rhythm and being comfortable with not having the counter icons. But it's so fucking rewarding, guys, when you're able to do it without any counter icons. You feel like the biggest badass. That is such a good fight. I really, really like this fight a lot. But anyways, that's that. I'll let you guys enjoy the rest of it, and I'll see you on the backside of it.
That was a mistake. A few tricks left, I see.
I can't let Penguin get away. There's more I need to ask him. I have to get up to that balcony. The device Deathstroke was using should do the trick.
You'll have more luck getting into a nun's skivvies than getting into this room. Go on then, beat it a bit harder. Really make me feel it. Well, as you can see, I got the answer. Have a Merry Christmas, and piss off.
Alfred, see if you can find any... Looks like I can use the remote claw I took from Deathstroke. Alfred, get GCPD to take a look at the final offer. More to Dixon Docks. They'll find Slade with...
Oppressed citizens of Gotham, your cries for help have been heard. I am Anarchy, voice of the people, here to save you from the plague of corruption that now infests this once proud city. Those hired and elected to keep us free and safe won't lift a finger. And why would they? They've been bought and paid for, encouraged to turn a blind eye. If they won't act,
Alright, so as we come out of the fast travel, we're going to take a very, very specific route because we've got a couple of enemies up here we need to fight, and one of them has a gun, so we're basically going to land in a position that allows us to ledge take down that guy with the gun, and then we can just deal with the other two in the way that you see here.
What's your 20? On the balcony for a smoke with a menace.
Those men on the balcony, that could be my way in.
Now once we have control of Batman, we're basically going to go up to this gargoyle, and then we're just going to jump right down behind these guys and walk in the door without them, you know, knowing that we're there. So no need to fight those two.
Police believe Penguin murdered Black Mask, but why would he send me here if he was the killer? It doesn't add up. This crime took place days ago. The fire and the exposure to the elements make identifying the victims difficult. The male victim is wearing a black mask, but I can't positively identify him as Roman Sionis without a DNA analysis. Something I can't do in the field. I can identify the female victim based on her fingerprints. Tiffany Ambrose, Roman Sionis' girlfriend. Or one of them at least. She was no angel, long list of priors, but nothing to indicate she was the target here. The fire spread as a result of a Molotov cocktail thrown into the room. It may have been intended to destroy evidence. The shallow trajectory of the bullet suggests the shooter could be someone of Penguin's height. But the grooves on the floor suggest that the victim was killed by someone leaning back in a chair. This bullet was fired from a revolver. Ballistics analysis indicates a low angle of trajectory. The shooter could have been someone of Penguin's height, but the pattern in the gunpowder residue suggests the bullet was actually fired by someone lying on the ground. These fingerprints are a match for the Penguin, but they're on top of the soot from the fire. The cops were right. Penguin was in the room, but these prints prove he was here after the murders were committed. If he didn't kill Black Mask, who did? The only thing I know for certain is that Tiffany's shooter was lying on the floor. But why? These white streaks are shoe polish. Whoever shot Tiffany was being dragged along the floor. Besides the victims, there were 2 other people in the room. Tiffany's shooter, and whoever was dragging the shooter. The location from which the male victim was shot may tell me more. The DNA here doesn't belong to either of the victims. Whose is it? The fight broke out when someone startled the shooter. It's not clear who won the fight. It could have been either one of them. I should review the evidence to see if I can learn anything more about either the intruder or the shooter. Fabric analysis indicates the intruder was wearing a white suit or sport jacket. This fabric swatch could help identify the intruder, but I still can't identify the male victim's shooter. There's one impact area I haven't checked for clues. This DNA is from the female victim. The level of oxidation suggests it's been here for several days. If I review the evidence, I may be able to find out what she was doing when she was attacked. She was sending text messages to Roman Sionis about someone named the Joker. Someone killed... Alfred, I need access to the National...
Okay, so as we make our way out of here, we're going to have one enemy to deal with. It's going to be our first shield enemy, and we're just going to grapple pull him. We're going to use that physics hitbox to knock him down, and then we'll just take him out. Very, very simple. Now, as we come out here, normally we would still have those 2 enemies, but as we come out, if you kind of just hit the button to go into the map, you'll be able to pull that map up before you're ever actually physically in the same space with those enemies. And so it'll be very safe, and we can just go straight to the Batcave without any risk of those enemies being there.
Welcome home, sir.
Now, just for your own peace of mind, if for whatever reason you forget to do that and you do walk out of the door, those enemies will not see you. They'll still be in front of you, so you won't like aggro their AI, and then you'll be able to go into the map and then fly to the Batcave.
Come in, 8-2. Dispatch, Delta 4-4. Did you raise Delta 8-2?
Stand by, 4-4. Delta 8-2. Delta 8-2, come in. Delta 8-2, come in. Delta 8-2, report. Delta 4-4, no response from 8-2. Please proceed inside to confirm 8-2 status.
10-4, dispatch.
Okay, so we're going to come into the GCPD in a very specific way. And what we're going to do here, and I usually gauge this based on just my experience, but basically want to see where I am on the, on my experience, to get skills. And if I determine that I'm going to be a little bit short to get the upgrades for the claw, then what I like to do is go ahead and pick up a bunch of things here at the GCPD. Because they the timing here kind of aligns to when I need it. And generally speaking, I'm only ever a little bit off. And that little bit is usually variable based on, if my combo doesn't break, how high I get my combo, things like that. But anyways, once we're done with that, we're going to wait for that one guy to pass. Like you saw, he was walking away, and then we can just fly right to the door, and that guy's none the wiser because he's bad at his job. And then we can just go straight in.
Yeah, probably another water pipe bursting. Love to go take a look, but, my shift's over. Low.
This won't be easy, but if I'm going to access the National Criminal Database and find out what happened at Lacey Towers, I need to find the server room without being discovered.
Must you be so brutal, sir?
There is
So as we come into this room, you're going to want to go ahead and get the bat claw out, and you're going to want to edge forward until you get the pull on the grate. We want to pull this grate off, and then we're just going to crouch walk very slowly until we get the prompt to fly to it. If done properly, you'll pass all of these enemies, and they'll never get pulled into combat with you. Now for the second area here, there's a lot of enemies. We're not going to do anything special. We're just going to do what the game wants you to do, which is to use the remote claw to just go right over them and bypass them completely. So we're going to do that, and then we'll take out one guy and then move on.
I've got to be quiet so those SWAT officers don't hear me.
So for the enemies in this room, the game's going to auto-pull you into cover, so run out of that and just kick the guy on the left and then ping-pong all of the guys. I like to do it this way just because it keeps them all away from me. And anytime you can keep as many enemies out of melee distance from you, that's going to be the best way to do it, to be honest. Now I walk in and then walk back out because I realized I forgot something, and again, I'm just kind of gauging the experience I need for the upgrade, basically just off the top of my head. So I'm like, okay, yeah, I need that. So at this point, I'm just picking up everything that's kind of along the way to make sure that I get the experience I need before we get into the room where we have to stealth take down like 1 billion police officers. So for this room, there is a heavy here, and so basically what we're going to do is just drop on the first guy, and then just start doing the multi-battering takedown. Get as many of these guys off the board. Now the cool thing about this game is that if there is a heavy, generally they will eat your batterings, and what I mean by eat is that they block them and it has no effect, but if you jump over their back and do it, it knocks them down. Knocking them down is more of like gee-whiz information that doesn't really matter. The point is that you can build infinite combo off of enemies that block your batterings. So enemies that your batterings don't affect at all, you can sit there and just throw, dodge, throw, dodge, throw, dodge, and you can just keep doing that to build infinite combo. So keeping those guys alive to basically farm combo off of to defeat lesser enemies is something that we're going to be doing a lot. So anyways, with all that stuff I just got, I know now that I have the skill points I need for my upgrades, so we don't have to pick up anything else at this point. And we got it in perfect time because this is where I need the upgrades. So I was very lucky. It was a little tight there, but I was able to pull that off, so that's good. For this room, really the only scripted part of this is how I start. which is taking this guy down. Beyond that, the enemies here seem to be random in kind of how they respond to things. This will be the first time where you'll have to deal with enemies knowing you've taken someone out. So because of that, the way that they path, the way that they respond is, again, somewhat random. So really, this is just using your experience and understanding the game's mechanics to give yourself the best chance of success. And one of the reasons why I got the remote claw upgrade was for what you see there, is that we can immediately take 2 people off the board without any risk. And then there's also other utility that we can use indefinitely. So we can only hang 2 guys, but we can throw some things into them, throw some objects into them, we can throw enemies into each other so that they're on the ground for a long time. And it's just a great weapon that really, really shows its strength and benefit in a lot of areas. And because of that, I use it, you know, rightly so, for many, many strategies. So we have 4 guys left. What I'm trying to do is there's these big like propane tanks. So there's one in front and there's one to the right on the ledge. And what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to throw these into these guys, because when they impact, they'll immediately take them down. Now that one bugged because it impacted on the rail and not the guy. So that was a little unfortunate, but it just kind of is what it is. Again, just Origins being Origins. There is this one here though, which is why I'm like, okay, if any of these guys come up, we're just going to throw this into them. So you'll see the full effect of it right there. It goes into him properly that time and he gets taken out. So now we've only got 3 guys left. From here, we're just going to go around and take the guys out in whatever way is safest. So not anything else for me to speak to here, and I'll let you guys just see this all play out.
Verify. Officer down. Gonna make an example out of this freak.
Okay, so as soon as we walk into this room, we're going to have 2 guys in front of us. We're just going to crouch walk and go right by these guys. We're not even going to deal with them. So I stay crouched for longer than you actually need to, but it just makes me feel safer, so.
Using a security protocol I'm not familiar with.
Alright, so in this next room we're going to have a regular guy and a shield guy. So what I like to do is pull the regular guy and stagger him and then go cape stun, drop the shield guy. Now what I try to do here, or what I want to do here is I wanted to just do a takedown, like just a ground takedown. But when I went to hit the buttons, they just didn't respond. Because that happens in Origins too. Where the game just eats your input and just you never hit the button even though you did. So so I realized really quickly that happened when I hit crouch and it didn't crouch. So I just had to kind of improvise there and just kind of ping pong back and forth between them. So for these enemies, we're just going to fly down to the left and we're going to open the door by pushing the button. And if you do that in that way, in that manner, they'll never aggro onto you. They'll never see you and you can just skip that whole fight.
Good, you've made it to the infirmary.
Got it. Now I should be able to bypass the security on the server room door.
Priority 1 alert. Hearing reports about prisoner disturbance in holding cells. Emergency protocols engaged. Priority 1. Riot in the holding cells confirmed. Emergency protocols are in effect.
Alright, so once we hack this door, we're gonna get pulled into a cutscene, and then coming out of that cutscene, we're gonna have a bunch of enemies around us. We're gonna deal with this the same way that we deal with everything else. The only difference is we have a Bane thug here. Now the Bane thugs, the only way for you to deal with them when they still have their venom available is for you to build combo and then take them down. And when you take them down, instead of taking them down, you'll just rip the Titan off the back of them. Or the Venom, sorry, the Venom off the back of them. At that point, they become just regular enemies, and so, you know, we can just hit them with batarangs, you can do takedowns like I did there, or we could just build combo, and, you know, once they're on the ground, just do the multi-batarang takedown, so. All of this is fairly standard to what you guys have been seeing. I don't know why my combo kept dropping here, because it shouldn't have. But, you know, whatever. We're trying to build combo, like the infinite combo, like I told you guys, on the big guy, and it's just not working. It's not responding the way that it should. So, at this point, since it hasn't been working, I just decide, fuck it. We're gonna grapple pull and knock him down with the physics interaction, and then we'll just take him down on the ground.
Priority 1. Our 622 is confirmed in the holding cells, but also hearing that...
Charging! Clear! Clear!
622 has left the holding cells.
I got a pulse.
The riot has stopped? Need a team down there to confirm. All personnel report your 20 on channel 3. Trying to get a head count.
Hold your fire!
You idiots, it's me! What are you thinking?
Who are you talking to in there?
Wait on my laptop.
Alfred, I'm on my way out, but before I can access the server remotely, I need to hack into the telecom wires under the GCPD.
You should be able to access them from the sewers which run below the building. I'll take
Alright, so for these two enemies, I think the game wants you to disable their guns, but what I like to do here is wait for them to run forward a little bit, and then we're going to instantly take one of the guys out with this canister. And then while that guy's on the ground, what I would like to do is smoke the other ones and then take that second guy out. Again, the game kind of ate my input there, so I had to improvise, but you just fall back on the fundamentals. Build combo up, knock people to the ground, use the multi-takedown finisher, and, you know, just rinse and repeat, so not a big deal.
hurt you, but you need to stay out of my way.
Never.
Listen, I'm on your side.
My side? My side works within the law. My side doesn't leave suspects with broken bones and missing teeth. We've earned Gotham's respect.
If that were true, I wouldn't believe you.
Gordon, clear the line of fire! Hold your fire! If he moves, take him down. You've got nowhere to run.
Move, Gordon! I'm taking him down!
Okay, so for these 3 enemies, basically we're just gonna smoke right on top of them, and then I'm just gonna run forward and gel the floor, and then explode it. And by doing that, I'm gonna keep these guys on the ground long enough for me to get 2 of the 3 taken out. Very similar to what you saw on Penguin's ship. And then, of course, it also has the extra benefit of taking all of the guns out of their hands so that I don't potentially get shot.
Good work, Alf.
Hello? Hello, Batman? It's Barbara. Sorry for hacking into your comms, but I need a favor. Some evidence crates have gone missing. Army-grade stuff, and no one here is doing anything about it.
So the way that I go through this area, I highly suggest you do what I did to get here, because there are enemies on the roof up there, like right above us with guns. So if you come in at the wrong place to get to this manhole, you could potentially get shot while you're flying in. So highly suggest you follow my pathing there. And another example of the game breaking. So what we're going to do here is we're going to fly down and we're going to stand right in front of the breakable wall, and we're just going to smoke this area and then just break the wall. Because I threw the smoke, the enemies won't see me to attack me, so we can just go through. I didn't mean to do the quick gel on the floor there, but whatever. But anyways, regardless, you know, once you get to the door, you should be able to open the door and continue on. Alright, so the next group of enemies, I'm going to start this off by throwing a smoke bomb in a very specific spot, and then we're going to glide down and land on the ninja, and then from there we're going to hit and just start building combo. Now, if done properly and everybody cooperates, so to speak, you can get all of these guys knocked down. And the way that that happens is you basically get the heavy caught up in the smoke, and if he's caught up in the smoke, he's not able to defend against your batarangs, so he'll get knocked down when you start throwing them, and then you'll just have the ninja left. Unfortunately, that didn't happen this time, but you know, again, it's not a big deal. Just fall back on the fundamentals. So once we get to the top of here, we'll get another set of enemies. We'll get one of the big heavy guys. And so basically what I like to do is build combo and then just focus on knocking down the ones that I can and building combo to hurt the big guy, because your batarangs, like I told you a while back, your batarangs do massive amounts of damage in this game for whatever reason. So if done properly and you do enough damage to him, when you start hitting him, he'll just instantly get taken out because he's literally one shot. So from there, we just have to deal with the ninjas, which ninjas you cannot use a combo takedown on. So the way that I like to do it is if you jump behind them and then start throwing batarangs, you can knock them on the ground, similar to the heavies, just like that. And sometimes if you've done enough damage like that guy, you'll instantly take him out. After that, you can jump over them and then just start beating him down if he's the last guy, and you'll take him out.
Alfred, confirm we now have access to the National Criminal Database.
Connection confirmed. You can now perform DNA analysis. I'm also sending over the police file for the Lacey Towers case.
This photo is from the day of the murder. It's a perfect match. The DNA tells more of the story. But here's something the police overlooked. Roman Sionis owns the Gotham Merchants Bank. And he installed biometric security only he could access. Alfred, I have enough information to... Alfred, see if you can find any...
You...
Greetings and salutations. Help me! Oh, don't mind Alice. Poor dear. Her mind is all aflutter, and who can blame her after all she's been through? But I'll have her right as rain soon enough. Don't you worry about that.
So this is another area where I highly suggest you take the pathing I take. Now, if I remember correctly, this gets messed up. Sometimes, for whatever reason there, the game will just not respond when it should, and I accidentally let go of space, which is the glide, and fell down, so... But the pathing I'm taking here is what you want to do. There are enemies on the building to the right that have guns, so you don't want to go that way because it's very, very easy for them to see you and just shoot you. So I highly suggest taking this path. It's a little bit out of the way to get here, but it is one of the safest ways to get here.
Bodies everywhere. The Joker may still be here, in the vault. I should use caution. They're all dead. There's something more sinister going on here.
Alright, so once we have control of Batman, we're going to go up top, and then we're going to upgrade the remote claw to the max that we can. And then we're going to fly down to the left. We're going to kind of thread the needle here in this gap, and then we're going to sit on this corner and wait for the guy with the jammer to come through, and then we're going to take him out.
If he was dead, there'd be a body. There ain't no body.
Since I know that's impossible, I'm going to let you reconcile my vision of reality with your...
So once we take that guy out, we're going to run back up the stairs, and then we're going to go up on the high ground. And then from here, we're simply waiting for our opportunity to get some of these guys caught up on the gargoyles, to go ahead and hang them up with the remote claw. Now, there's a bit of randomness here with the way that it works, so at this point, you know, similar to the one with the cops, the room with the cops, it's kind of just you understanding the game, understanding the mechanics, and, you know, making the right plays. So the reason I cut that guy down is because I want to be able to hang another guy, and I can't do that on that gargoyle if somebody's already there. So that'll be that. We're out of the remote claw ammo, and so now all of the rest of them that we do is, you know, simply just using using all the other tools or tricks of the trade. Now, the reason I cut that guy down was because I wanted those guys to float over that way, and I was hoping that the third guy would keep going the way that he was going so that I could take him out by himself. It kind of worked out here. He climbed up here, which wasn't necessarily what I wanted, but that's fine. So then we'll go back up to the gargoyles, or the possums, whatever the hell these are, and wait for these two guys to filter up here to investigate him getting taken out, and then we'll throw multi-batarangs and deal with them. And again, just make sure that when you do this, your enemies actually land on the ground, because it would have been very easy for any one of those 3 batarangs to just impact the rail there or the ammo box or whatever. So. But that's that. We'll interrogate this guy and then we'll move on.
Alfred, pull schematics on set.
So once we get outside, we're going to have a bunch of cops in front of us. And what we're going to do is we're going to run forward and we're going to smoke all of them. Now the guy with the shield will not be affected, so he'll run at us. We're just going to flip over him and just keep running. We'll go ahead and take out that relay because why not? And then you'll just follow my pathing to continue. Alright, so as we land here, you're going to want to hit this guy with your regular batarang, so your normal one, not your multi one. If you hit him with your multi one, you'll get pulled into combat and you won't be able to fly to this door and go into it without fighting everybody. So as we make our way inside, we're going to have a bunch of enemies. The way that I like to approach this is very slowly and wait for the guy in front of me to get basically perpendicular to the guys on the left, because the guy on the left has a gun. So that'll help me build combos so I can instantly take him down. Unfortunately, the game being the game, that didn't happen, so I had to go do it manually. But then from here, you know, you're just basically building combo to do the finishers, and then that's it. For this last guy, we'll just do the physics knockdown and take him out on the ground. So for the enemies in this next room, there is a speedrunning strategy where you can take down both of the guys with the guns. However, I suck at it and I just couldn't get it consistent. So what I decided to do here is basically just throw a smoke bomb down, and then I'll just hit them manually to knock the guns out of their hands. That'll also help me build combos so I can throw batarangs, and then we can just do the takedown and, you know, rinse and repeat that whole thing. So.
Alfred, I'm uploading data from one of Black.
Master Bruce, looking through Sionis' files, I found reference to a chemical similar to the compound you need for your glue grenade. I'm going to try to...
Good. What was that?
Okay, so once we come out of this cutscene and we have control of Batman, we're going to do a very specific opener to this fight, which is we're going to go up on the rail and we're going to glide into this guy. Once we do that, we should be able just to start throwing batarangs. However, maybe it didn't happen. I thought I lost the combo here, but apparently I didn't. Regardless, you can see what we're doing. Nothing different than what we've been doing. At this point, I'm just trying to I should have just done the ground finisher there. Or the multi-battering finisher there. I would have gotten both the guys, but whatever. Once we kill all them, we're going to get a heavy, the first armored heavy. Now for the armored heavies, you cannot attack them until you do a combo takedown on them to rip their armor off. So the first thing we need to do here is build enough combo to do that. Now, because he was charging at me, I had to dodge twice. So we lost combo there. Not a big deal. I see that he's stunned in the back. So I just go ahead and take down all of the enemies. Because I know from experience that with the Bat Claw, I can basically stun him long enough that I can do something else. So I get my jump kick, and then we're just going to keep going with multi-batterings until I build combo to rip that off, and then once we rip that off, we can just beat him down. So it's a little bit iffy there at the end. You kind of don't want him to be the last guy alive with his armor on, because then there's only one way that you can deal with it. So I was lucky that I was able to build a combo of 2 and then multi-battering up to a combo of 8 to rip that off of him. I think there in hindsight, what I should have done there was,
that's more like
when we have all of the enemies, build a combo of 8 and just immediately take his armor off. That way I don't have to deal with that. That's the better way of approaching that fight.
Who did this? I can use my evidence scanner to examine the body for clues.
Okay, so as we come into this room, there's going to be a guy with a knife on the left, so I want to go ahead and enter combat by taking him out. And then from there, we're just going to multi-battering throw. Now, it gets canceled here, so I've got to build it again. Kind of a pain in the ass, but that's okay. At this point, we'll just go ahead and pull this guy, interact with his physics, take him down. Okay, so this is a very scripted room. It happens the same way every time until the last couple of guys. So we're going to go up here and we're going to go ahead and fry the jammer on that guy's back using the disruptor. And then we're going to wait for this guy to turn and then we're going to go take him out. Now once we're done taking this guy out, we're going to go back up top and we're going to move around to the end of the room on the left. And there's going to be a guy you'll see directly below me here. He's going to start pathing down, and once he gets far enough away that I can drop down, we're going to drop down and we're going to take him out. And we want to do this quickly because there are 2 guys that have traded places below us, a regular guy and the guy with the transmitter, or the jammer. So what I want to do is I want to take this guy out before he gets to the corner, and then I want to take the guy with the jammer out. Now, honestly, in retrospect, because I remember this, I should not have taken this guy out. He's way too far out beyond the edge. And I think I go into detective mode here. Yeah, it would have been very easy for either of those guys to see me. So that was not the right play there. I should have played it a little bit slower and just waited. But up to that point and this pull right here, it's scripted. Everything after this is not scripted. It's just kind of dealing with whatever happens. Now, I say that when, you know, for the most part, we have 3 enemies left. We should be able to get 3 pulls on these guys, but yeah, again, in hindsight, I definitely shouldn't have gone for the guy with the transmitter. I should have waited and been a little bit more patient to make sure that I was absolutely safe.
You're waiting for something.
I killed you, and in a few more minutes, your body will realize it. That's it. Use your strength. With every effort, you hasten your end.
Must scan the room for Copperhead's poison. Female perspiration. Copperhead came this way. All I need is one drop of poison. There. It's a powerful neurotoxin. Alfred, uploading analysis of a neurotoxin. I need to get back to ground level.
What would your father say if he could see you now, throwing away your family's hard-earned fortune on these frivolous nightly escapades? And for what? You're not this city's savior. You're a Wayne. And a spoiled, wasteful disappointment of a Wayne at that. Have you forgotten what your family name stands for? You disappoint me. You disappoint me.
Please, someone... You could have saved me if you'd only come sooner. What were you doing? You're no hero. A real hero would have saved me.
You let me die. How many more must perish before you realize? Savior, you're a curse upon this city, a plague on all of Gotham. Leave us alone! We were better off without you. I'd still be alive without you. Please, you have to save me.
Okay, so we're gonna have to fight 3 echoes or mirages of whatever, you know, of Copperhead here. So this is no different. We're just building combo, and then multi-batterings will instantly take them out. Now the entire Copperhead fight is basically centered around multi-batterings. The problem with this approach, though, is that if we hit Copperhead outside or beyond the veil of the smoke, with those batterings, because those batterings like knock them back a lot, if we happen to do that, we will soft lock the game. What I mean by that is that the game will bug and we will have to basically restart the fight. Now I told you guys at the beginning of this run that restarts and reloads were not allowed if damage was taken. If damage is not taken, then reloading is fine. And unfortunately that's what happened here. I soft locked by pushing her outside with the multi-battering, so I had to restart this. Again, that's not against the rule set, simply because I'm not making it easier for myself, I'm making it harder, and honestly, I'm not making it harder, the fucking game's making it harder by bugging like that. So what I decide to do is, or basically my approach is that if it bugs like that, I generally just jump over, hit, jump over, hit, jump over, hit. If you've watched my Arkham City run, you might remember this is kind of what I did with the Ra's al Ghul fight. And I do that until I can identify which one is really hurt. That way I make sure that she doesn't go out of the veil. So once we get her as the last one for phase 1, you know, then we can go ahead and hit her. That'll start phase 2. Now in phase 2, we're just gonna go, you know, same thing again. We'll jump over, hit, jump over, hit, until I basically have an idea of which one is the real one. And really, you'll know which one's the real one because when you hit it, it won't instantly die. You could also check at the top right. If you hit one of them and that health bar moves, then it's the right one. It's like the real Copperhead. The other way to approach this is if, you know, like that was the real one, I could tell that was the real her. But the other way to approach that is if most of the area is in front of you, then you can multi-battering and it should be fine because most of the enemies will be close enough to you. But if any of the enemies are along the veil or like really close to the veil, like if they're not in the center circle, then you're really going to want to just not throw multi-batterings to be safe. So for the final phase here, basically, she's going to dash in. You know, there's an audio cue, there's a visual cue for that. She'll always spawn 3 copies of herself in. So what I like to do is just keep doing that dodge hit technique to build combo of 2, and then from there, we can do the multi-batterings to finish them all off. Now it is important to note that she can dash in if you take too long while those enemies are still here. So you do need to have a little bit of haste here when you're doing this and not take your time necessarily. And as soon as you hear the Batwing coming in, essentially the fight is over. You really can't take damage past this point unless you just don't hit the button to take her down. It's also good to know that the game can bug right here. It's a very, very small chance that it happens, but it can bug to where you'll take slightly too long to take her down, and then she'll escape. And if she escapes, the game just soft locks and doesn't know what to do. So it'll just like, you'll just be stuck there and you'll have to reload it again. But luckily if you have that happen and you reload, it'll reload right there. So you'll just have to hit the button again. You won't have to do the whole fight.
All the assassins will be there. When you set me free, I'll tell you where.
Thanks. I owe you one.
Wait! I can tell you the location.
You already did. Alfred, send GCPD. Electrocutioner's gloves emit a powerful electromagnetic signal which I can follow with my scanner. He'll lead me right to the Joker. But I need to get out of the steel mill first.
Alright, so we have a couple of enemies in this room. Basically what we're going to do is we're going to zip this to one of them. And then we're going to go take out one of the other ones. Now, if the guy at the door doesn't see you, you actually can take out the third one. You'll have enough time, but I saw that he was going to see me, so I didn't even try it.
I'm not picking up Electrocutioner's signal yet. I'll need to get to higher ground. The central pillar on Pioneer Bridge should do.
Sorry to intrude, sir, but I'm receiving reports about a disturbance nearby. I'm sending the coordinates to your map. You may wish to investigate.
There. There's the signal. Looks like the electrocutioner is inside the Gotham Royal Hotel. Joker's booked up.
Alright, so as we make our final approach, we're gonna go ahead and just full takedown on this guy. It's not actually gonna take him down, we don't have the skill upgrade. But it will give us the ability to go ahead and ping pong to the next guy and then start building combo.
Master Bruce, has the Joker taken over?
He's in.
So for the two guys up ahead, we're just going to use the remote claw to knock them both down on the ground, and then we'll do ground takedowns on both of them and then move on. For the enemies in the next room that are below us, if I remember correctly, there's a ninja. Yep, there's a ninja right here. So we're going to full send on the ninja and knock him down. Then we'll hit the next guy and then just start throwing batarangs. And we should be able to build combo and kill or knock out everyone except the ninja. And then we can deal with the ninja with like a 1, 2, 3.
Do you know just where in the...
Not yet. There are enough explosives here to take down this building. Wonder what other surprises...
Okay, so as we enter the hotel lobby, this is going to be more of the same. You know, it's really just taking out who we can before everyone else is kind of alerted. And then using the remote claw to hang the ones we can. And then whatever is left, you know, try and take them out with the explosive barrels. Or just multi-battering and then take them out. So I'll let this go ahead and play out. If I remember correctly, this doesn't go exactly as planned. But let's watch and see what happens here. That's right, I remember this now. I actually messed this up. So you want to take out the guy with the jammer before you alert everyone that you're here. Because what you'll see is in a second, he's going to reactivate the jammer. Even though I fried it, he reactivates it. So what I should have done was I should have waited until he was in an advantageous spot and taken him out silently. Or even at that point, you could take him out loud, it doesn't matter. And then from there, then you can go loud and start hanging people or doing the explosive barrels or whatever.
I guess it's nothing.
No, please! That guy's get over there! Yo, my head is killing me. Listen, just... No! No! Go see what happened! Cut the rope! Well done! Guys, look at this! How'd you get hung upside down? Everybody spread out and look up!
So if I remember correctly, what happens here, and this is what I've been kind of preaching to you guys, right? So I throw multi-battering, and it looked like the second guy, the farthest guy, didn't get hit. So I abandoned my my glide and was like, oh shit, because if you start gliding to him and one of them get knocked down, you'll get shot while you're gliding. So I abandoned the glide, and in fact, he did get hit. It was just kind of delayed, so. But, you know, better safe than sorry, right? Because we can just come do it again, and then it's no big deal.
I need to get inside the security room.
Friends.
That lift should get me up to the ceiling so I can get out of here. Maybe electrocution or shock gloves could restore power to this platform.
Find the Joker, sir.
When do we get to off the hotel?
Okay, so once we open the gate, we do have a few enemies here. We're just going to slide kick into one. We'll hit the second guy and then just start going with your your batarangs. I don't know if you guys could tell, but one of those guys was like literally bugged out. Like he was just standing there and like batarangs were going right through his body and everything. Just Arkham Origins being Origins. So I remember this pretty vividly. As we go into this room, the strategy is to basically run to the panel and throw a smoke grenade and then charge it and then slide under because they won't see you. However, I hit the wrong button. I hit the wrong button and I went to do it again and then I was like, nope, 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 nope. Just, you know, Hayate, be smart, play it safe, you know, just do the fight. Just do the fight. Don't worry about the strat, do the fight. So that's what I end up prioritizing here, and I mean, as you can see, not a big deal, but that's a good, I guess, example of, you know, you have your strategies, but if they go wrong or you mess it up, you have to have the discipline to make a decision and make the right decision and commit to it. So, luckily I was able to do that there and didn't lose the run through hesitation or something. Okay, so as we crash into this guy, that'll take him out, and then we're going to need to go ahead and fry this turret. And then once we fry that turret, what I'm going to do is I'm going to run forward and place explosive gel in very specific spots. And we're only going to do 2. We don't need to do more than that. What I want to do is put them in a line so as the enemies come through the gate to run at me, I can blow them up and I'll hit all of the enemies. And then from there, we want to take out, really we want to take out the ninja. As you can see there, the ground takedown actually bugged. So the first one that I went to do, Batman just countered instead of doing the takedown, which was time wasted, and that time wasting allowed the ninja to get up, and the ninja almost hit me. Luckily, he stopped before he went to hit me, and that bought me enough time to save it. But that would have been a very good example of when the game bugs and you get hit and it's not your fault. You do the button prompts right, the game just doesn't respond, and you know, you pay the price for it. Which is another reason why this run took me a lot longer than any of the other Arkham games to get it done. Nothing special here, we're just gonna ledge take down this guy. He's all by himself, so we take him out and then we move on. Okay, so as we turn this corner, we're gonna have two guys. We're just gonna remote claw both of them. That'll knock them down and give us time to do ground takedowns on both of them. So for the next section, the amusement park section or whatever, there is a speedrunning strat to skip this whole area. I tried it and it was just too risky for me, because if you mess it up, you're gonna land right on these guys and you're gonna have to fight them anyways. So I just chose, you know, hey, let's just do it the way the developers intended for us to do it, and, you know, fight them, so. But if you are curious of what that is or how that looks, just go to speedrun.com, pull up whatever the top runs are, and I'm sure you'll find it.
Not again. Please.
Now this what I like to call Joker Says. And right now, Joker says, you're gonna make this poor man scream his head off.
If I try to pull him out, he'll be electrocuted. I'm going to have to play along.
I think I smell bad brains burning. Now this way.
Okay, so for these enemies, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start by running up the side here, and then I'm going to throw batarangs to aggro them. I want them to know that I'm here before I go down. What that'll do is that'll pull the heavy guy, like right in front of me where I land, and it'll allow me to go ahead and build combo, and just use him as like a generator to build combo off of. And then we'll be able to throw batarangs and take more people down, and you know, just kind of rinse and repeat that. I found this to be the best way, at least for me, to do this, but And it's kind of odd that we were so high on combo and that last guy didn't get taken out. Which I think is what was confusing to me. I like full sended on the ninja when I jumped over him, expecting him to get knocked down or knocked out, and he didn't. Which was the telltale sign that somebody else was still, you know, up and moving. So I remember this. So the strategy is to run up and hit this guy, and the game bugged in the slow motion. Like, you heard the sound of the slow motion, you saw the actual camera turn for the slow motion, and then Batman just fucking stood there and didn't do anything. Again, Origins being Origins, guys. So the group of enemies in front of us, there's one guy with a gun, so we're gonna go ahead and initiate takedown on him. And then we do have an armored big guy, so what we need to do is we need to go ahead and build combo and take his armor off. Now, unfortunately, the game prioritized this regular fucking dude for some reason, which complicated things, but again, because of the way multi-batarangs work in this game and just combo in general, I was able to just use him as an ult, like a battery, like a combo battery, to get that combo up to take his armor off, and then we finished him off, and then I used a takedown on the guy with the gun.
I need to hurry to the penthouse and stop the Joker. Seen anything like this. These bombs are set to detonate December 31st. I should be able to disarm them with my cryptographic sequencer.
Oh no! You found my snowman bombs! You just couldn't wait till New Year's, huh?
Getting this?
Yeah, we're still live.
This is Vicky Vale reporting.
So the section coming up, we basically drop down into a bunch of enemies and we're fighting them. But from this weird vantage point of the GCTV news helicopter, and the enemies will drop combat, and you'll actually not be able to move. So like right here, I can't move. So what I'm doing there is I'm just smashing the jump button to make sure that I dodge as soon as I gain control of Batman again. Once we do a little bit, they'll break the camera, or Batman will break the camera, and then we'll be back to our normal like viewpoint. And then from there we can, you know, just do the normal stuff of building combo, doing takedowns, etc. And I have the hardest time here doing this section and keeping combo, because it just like messes with my brain. Anyways, as these guys come in, I backclaw one of the guys down, and because I interrupt his jumping into the area, it actually takes him out. So that's a nice way to get one guy down instantly. So we'll build combo up, take this guy down, and then we'll finish the ninja with the old 1, 2, 3 in the back. And then we can move on.
Sir, I've just seen the explosion.
Not now.
Right, so as we enter into this area, we're going to do a very, very specific start. We're going to run to this side, and we're going to wait for the guy beyond this one to turn, and as he turns, we're going to silently take this guy down. Then we're going to move forward and take out the next one. Then you'll notice there's a guy below us that's pathing to the right, so we're just going to jump over the rail, and we're going to take this guy down. Now, similar to like Arkham Asylum or Arkham City, whenever there's dialogue playing, the enemies will never be alerted to your presence until the dialogue ends. So when the dialogue ends, now they know that I'm here. And we're going to move to this position, and we are going to live on this gargoyle, because every single one of these gargoyles now has a bomb on it. So if I leave this gargoyle, I will not be able to return to this gargoyle or any other gargoyle. So we're just going to sit here and wait. Now what happened there was another bug where you use the disruptor on a guy and it doesn't show you that he's disrupted. And I wasn't really paying attention and I disrupted him again. So the strategy is to disrupt his gun and the other guy's gun, and then there's no guns. So then I can just multi-battering and just go at him, and I don't have to worry about getting hit. But because I messed up and now there's a guy with a gun and without a gun, I have to play this a little different. So I decide to use this barrel, but the barrel actually impacts the wall or object or whatever that was to the left and doesn't take him down. So at this point, I am like, okay, well, what do I do now? So I just decide to throw battering at this guy, and then when he's knocked on the ground, we'll drop onto this guy and take him out. And then we'll go ahead and head over to the other guy, and if we can take him out, and you can hear the bombs blowing up, but if we can take him out before he gets off the ground, great. Otherwise, he's the last guy, so we can just do the 1, 2, 3 on him, and that's fine.
Come down, we'll be ready for them. Get in position.
Alright, so the Bane fight. So, we're gonna punch Joker a few times and then Bane's gonna interrupt us. Now, phase 1 for the Bane fight is very, very scripted. All we're gonna do is we're gonna wait for him to go to hit us. We're gonna cape stun, we're gonna beat him down, and then we're gonna use our combo takedown, and then we're gonna kick. As soon as he stands up, we're gonna kick, and that's phase 1. Very, very simple and very repeatable. So for phase 2, as it starts, we basically want to cape stun him. Now I messed this up. I should have waited for the grab. The grab's the best time to do the cape stun. So this right here, perfect. So we'll cape stun into him. We'll do the beat down. We'll do the takedown. And then what you're going to notice is only in phase 2, right after we do this, we can go into cape stun again immediately. You can only do this in phase 2. If you try and do it in phase 3, you'll take a hit. So we'll do it again, we'll cycle again, and then coming out of the second takedown, we'll hit 1 time and that'll pull us into phase 3. Right here we have to counter the backhand, and then that pulls us into phase 3. So as we go into the final phase, he's going to start charging at us, and we're going to have to run around and avoid him. Now the first time he charges, he's going to do it 4 times. Every time after this, he'll only do it 3, so that's something to know. Once he gets done charging the 4th time, he's going to leap in and do a smash. We need to dodge that and be close enough to do a cape stun. From here, it's very similar to the phase 1 and phase 2 methods. We're going to hit him, we'll do the takedown. This will rip his Venom formula out, and then we're going to hit him 4 times. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we're going to dodge towards where the enemies are spawning, and then we're just building combo to take down those enemies. Once those enemies are out, we're going to dodge roll, hit, and I'm only throwing 1 battering. And when I say that, I mean I'm only hitting the multi-battering button once. So we're going to do that until we build combo, and then we're going to go ahead and hit him. From here, I'll be able to hit him 1 time, and then we have to get out. Now, the problem with Bane is that, for whatever reason, when you do multi-battering throws, they don't seem to stick well. So I'm building a combo of 2, and then I start multi-battering throw, as we normally do on every other enemy, and as you can see, it doesn't work. So doing the 1 battering at a time method is slow, but it guarantees that you keep your combo. Now I messed up, the game dodged me in the way I didn't want to dodge, but that's okay, we'll just go again. And we're building this combo to 8. And then right here, we'll go in, hit him, and then that'll be that. So at this point, now more enemies are coming in. I go to hit him one more time, and this will start his charge phase. Okay? So there are enemies up top right now. Those are the next enemies that are going to spawn in. And what we're going to do is we're going to rinse and repeat the same thing. You can see he did 3 charges there like I told you he would. We dodge roll the smash, we cape stun, and now we're rinsing and repeating. So we're going to hit him, get the combo, do the finisher. We'll hit him 4 times, I believe. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we go into the guys. We knock these guys down, and then we take them all out. Just like that. And now we're on the 1 cycle with the not the Batwing, Jesus. The Batarangs. So just throw in 1 at a time. Until we get combo. Okay, and then from here, we're gonna go ahead and hit him 1 time and then back off. Now there is a cycle there, you know, when you break him the first time you do the 4 hits, and the next time you break him you can only do 1 hit. So we'll build the combo up, we'll do the takedown, and then from there we'll hit him 1 more time and that'll push us into the final charge. Well, it's not the final charge, it'll be the final charge with enemies. So again, this will be 3 enemies. Or sorry, not 3 enemies, 3 charges. Same thing, he comes in, we dodge, we cape stun. We beat down till we build combo. We do the takedown. Then from here we'll hit 4 times. Or shot gloves, sorry. Then we'll hit the 4 times, or however many I can get in, and then we'll do the same thing. Building combo, and for whatever reason, combo didn't build there at 8, which was kind of weird. That threw me off. Another good old Arkham Origins bug. Or maybe it's something I don't know about, I don't know. So for whatever reason there, we lose our combo, so now I've got to build it again. And then from here, all we have to do is do a takedown on him, and then once we do this takedown on him, he's going to get pissed off and he's going to go to charge at us. So we do the takedown, we hit once to pull us into this, and then he's going to do the final charge, and all we have to do is avoid 3 charges, and then the fight will auto-complete. And then that'll be the fight. Just want to note here that you do have to counter Joker. You know, I don't necessarily know that you could count it as damage because you don't have a health bar there, but you know, if you want to be as complete as possible for the no damage run, just counter that. Don't take the hit.
Where'd he go? Huh? The bat. The partner. My partner? Who else would jump off a building to save your sorry ass? You know, officer. I was wondering the same thing myself.
And what do you mean by that?
You all people should...
Okay, so as we go into this next section, we're going to play as Joker, and we're going to have a bunch of enemies to fight. I always aim not to take damage here, but you don't actually have a health bar as Joker, and you can't take you can't die here, I guess, is the best way to say it. So by that metric, you don't have a health bar. So I always aim to try not to take hits here. And if I remember correctly, I don't take hits here. I think I lose my combo at one point, but I don't think I take a hit. So if you want to be as complete as possible, sure, you know, don't take a hit here, but if you do, it doesn't count against the rule set.
How about we try some word association?
That sounds delightful.
Okay. One more. And I need you to be serious for this one. Fate.
You want to know something funny? I used to think of fate as evil. Predetermined, not by some higher power, no, but by the rules of human nature. Tonight, it's all changed.
What's changed?
Have you ever had the feeling that your entire life has been building towards this one moment?
Is that how you feel?
Well, now, yes. Now I realize that all the battles, the bad days, the brutalities, it was all the hand of fate at work.
So now you see fate differently?
Absolutely. Now I understand. There are no chance encounters. It was all meant to be. Everything leading up to who I've met tonight.
So you've met someone special?
And you might say it's changed everything.
Everything?
Absolutely. I mean, do you realize what a vile world we live in? How lonely it is to wade through all that wretched filth on your own?
It is kind of lonely, isn't it?
Of course. Of course, you understand. Even in a crowd of other screwballs. You're so alone that you can kick, claw, yell, scream at the top of your lungs. It's like you don't even exist. I feel...
And how does that make you feel?
I feel adrift, floating, like someone's pulled the stopper on my reality, and I'm sucked down the drain into something new. It's all very exciting, really. You wouldn't know what that feels like, I'm sure.
I might. Can you tell me more about how this person makes you feel?
It's like meeting someone I can actually relate to. Which, believe me, dear, I've never felt before. You understand. You're someone who's not afraid to let go and fall. Free falling, and I didn't pack a chute. Do you know what I mean?
Yes. Yes, I do.
I figured you would.
So, may I ask, who is this person?
Oh, someone very, very special. But whose real name I don't even know yet.
My name's Holleen. Holleen Quinzel.
What a pretty name. Do your friends call you Holly?
Oh, I don't have a lot of friends.
Well, Holly, you got one now.
Wait. Why do you do what you do?
Master Bruce, it might be... Of course, I'd recommend testing it here in the lab before you go, but I'm sure you won't listen to me. You never do. So I take Bruce Wayne.
Alright, so as we come out of the fast travel, you're going to want to take a very specific route. This is, you know, if you've been watching this whole video without skipping, you know, by now you'll notice that we're taking the same route almost every time out of this fast travel location. And the reason why you want to take this route is it's going to lead you directly into the next section. This is basically where we went to earlier, where we went into the sewers. So you'll want to just kind of do a horseshoe into this area. Now I pick up basically all of the glue grenade upgrades here. They're going to be very useful for not only the duration that people are stunned, but later on in the game in various areas, the ability to detonate it and trap a bunch of enemies at one time with the proximity will come into play. So you can do that basically from the Batcave. I forgot until I got here, and I was like, oh shit, I forgot to upgrade. So you'll want to pick up those upgrades is, I guess, my point. At some point before you get to that fight, preferably.
Maybe the glue grenade can stop the steam here. It's not Bane, but one of his men. The same one I saw at the riot in the precinct's holding cells earlier. I should scan his corpse. The victim was dosed with a chemical that caused temporary deformation of his physiology. I'll need to check the autopsy report to find out more. That computer should contain the autopsy report I'm looking for. Interesting. The victim was using a powerful compound with many similarities to the street drug Venom at the time of his death. It changes the user's muscle and bone structure, greatly enhancing strength for a temporary period. It appears that whatever this compound is, it reduces mental capacity in several ways, including severe damage to the brain's memory center. Prolonged use could seriously compromise the user's memory. There's Bane's tracker.
All available units, we've received reports of shots fired inside the Coventry district. Witnesses describe two armed groups fighting over what appear to be chemical weapons. Requesting any available officers locate and secure the scene.
Chemical weapons. I should investigate.
Alright, so you need to run outside of the garage to be able to fast travel. So run outside, and then we're going to fast travel here. And then we're going to take a very specific route. So if you're doing this run, or you're attempting to do this, follow my route to the letter. And essentially what this is going to do is it's going to allow you to kind of fly over all the enemies in the area where we're going, so that you don't have to fight them. So it's very important that you get the height that I have. That way you can get the speed on your glide to get there. I mean, technically you could go to the top of the building to our right and go in, but you really want to go in from this angle where you're kind of on the same plane as the sniper. And if you do it fast enough from the fast travel, that sniper will always turn away from you as you start, you know, going into the tunnel. Okay, so for the enemies in front of us, we're going to climb up on the rail, get our glue grenade, and go all the way to the right so that the pipes above this guy don't stop the glue grenade. Then we're going to go down, we're going to hit this guy, and then just start throwing batarangs to build combo. From there, we'll take everyone out that we can, and you know, deal with the enemies as they lie. So for this one, we had a shield guy, so we just take him down, and then we can go do a glue takedown or whatever the hell it's called to finish the last guy.
I should try to use my glue grenade to create a raft.
As you climb into the area here, we're going to go ahead and get explosive gel. You're going to walk all the way up to the door, and looking down, you're going to hit the button to put it down. If you don't do that, it'll actually put it on the door. So very important note to make sure you keep in mind. From there, we're going to go and put the explosive gel in 2 locations, kind of in a triangle. And then we're going to go open the door. Now, when the door opens, we're going to have a bunch of enemies, but the reason I'm doing this is for the Titan enemies. So we're going to go in, we're going to hit those explosive gels, which will knock everyone on the ground but one of those Titan enemies. And then we can glue grenade him and then deal with everyone else without having to worry about that guy charging at us. The other benefit to kind of leaving the Titan enemies for last is that normally to take him down, we would have to either do a beatdown on him or get combo and break his venom tank or whatever, and then beat him, you know, beat him until he's knocked out. So by having him on the glue, we kind of skip all that and we can just take him out immediately if he's the last guy.
My tracking device is in here somewhere, which means Bane is likely in here as well. Alfred, Bane knows who I am. I need to get back to the Batcave, and quickly.
Suspect is airborne in a jetpack, armed with a flamethrower. Multiple hostages on the Pioneers Bridge.
Firefly. He must not know Joker's behind bars, and he's putting those people in danger to get to me.
Delta 6-5 to dispatch. Who's the OIC at Pioneers?
Captain James Gordon is the officer in charge.
A lot of lives could be at risk at the bridge. If I can hack Firefly's communication channel, I can learn more.
And if the cops try anything stupid, kill a few hostages.
Sure thing. And, how long before we set the timers on the bombs?
Not until the bat shows. We'll wait all night if we have to. There's $50 million riding on this.
Alfred, Firefly has hostages on the Pioneers Bridge. I need to deal with him before coming.
Where is Bird? Should he not be here helping? This is a critical time. Bane gave him other orders. Concern yourself only with the orders Bane has given to you.
Very well. I only... Do you think he will pick many more volunteers for the trials? I cannot...
Alright, so this is where the game broke the worst for me, and not in a way that like lost me the run, but it was really, really weird. I had never encountered this before, so I didn't really know what to do, and I didn't really have a backup plan for this. But all this starts out right, so basically what we want to do is we want to move. I missed the grapple location, but whatever. Point being, we want to move to the bridge, and there's a platform right in front of me that we want to move and land on. And when you land, every other time I've done this, when you land on this bridge, it automatically like pulls you into the next objective, and it does a cutscene and does all this stuff. And so I'm like, okay, well, where the hell is it at? It's not happening. So I was like, okay, well, maybe let's just go to the marker, because you can see the bat symbol up there in the air. Let's just go to where it's telling me to go. So I figured the game was bugged at this point, and again, since I've never seen this before, I didn't want to restart, because I didn't know where it was going to restart me from. So I figured we would just go over here and try this, because this is where it starts you when you come out of the cutscene. And I get over here and just no cutscene happens. So the point is somehow we skipped an entire cutscene and a bunch of dialogue and stuff that's supposed to happen. However, the strategy to get in here is the same. Basically, I walk up, you're going to throw a regular batarang at this guy, and then you're going to drop down and try and go in the door. Now, the way that this seems to work is it's based on his eyeballs seeing you. So if his eyes can see you as you try to enter the door, you're not going to make it. If that happens, basically just take him down and then take out the other enemies. But I would say about 50% of the time it'll work, and you can kind of skip those enemies and just come straight in. Okay, so for this room, it's fairly scripted. The last couple of enemies are not, similar to most of the rooms, but we're going to start over here. We're going to wait for this guy to get on the corner. We're going to fly straight down. We're going to take this guy out, and then as soon as we get done taking him out, we're going to turn around and corner cover on this wall, just so we can see what the jammer, which way he's looking, and then we're going to go in and take him down once it's safe to do so. From here, we're going to run straight through. We're going to turn to the left. We're going to go up onto the gargoyle, and then we're going to go over to this one, and we're going to drop down behind this guy and take him out when it's safe to do so. From this point, we have 6 guys left. So what we're going to aim to do now is use the remote claw to make this 3 guys by throwing 3 of these guys up onto gargoyles. Once we have most, or not most, but once we have 3 of them on the gargoyles, there will be 2 left. So I know I said 6 earlier, I misspoke, it was 5. But anyways, we'll have 2 left, and then what we're going to do is throw multi-batarangs to try and knock both of them on the ground. As you can see, that was another instance of throwing batarangs and it not going to the target. So that's why, again, I'll reiterate, you always throw it and then wait to make sure that they drop. So they dropped here, we're going to go down, we'll hit this guy, and then we'll interrogate the other one. Now, something to note is there are gargoyles on the outside perimeter of this room and then the inside perimeter of the room. And those ones on the inside have bombs on them, so that's why I stay off of them and I don't use them. So just make sure that you don't go up to those unless you absolutely have to.
One bomb down, now to find the other 3.
Command, our target hit a gas main with his flamethrower. Fire in the north end. Damn it. I'm remotely engaging the fire door in that section to protect the hostages.
Okay, so as soon as we charge the generator here, we're gonna go forward and we're gonna put explosive gel on the wall. And then what we want to do is we want to swap to smoke bomb. And as soon as we blast the door open, we're gonna throw smoke bomb right on top of the enemies. We're gonna go in, we're gonna hit them, build combo, and then we should be able to take these guys out without too much issue.
You just gonna stand there? Untie me.
You've been after the bounty on my head all night.
It was never Sionis.
Now, as we free the police officer here, he is going to attack us, so make sure that you counter that and then move on.
Rest of the night off.
Alright, so as we go into this room, the game's going to pull us behind these crates. And what we're going to do is we're simply just going to wait until we gain control of Batman, and we're going to stay on these crates, and then we're going to grapple in between these 2 guys, and we're going to do a double ledge takedown on them. Now from here, what I like to do is attempt to jam the weapons of the 2 guys that are remaining, and then we can just go do whatever we want with them. It's rare, but sometimes you can get the jam off on their guns through these little like holes or whatever. I couldn't really get it to work this time around, but I went for it. I tried, it didn't work, so whatever. So what I end up doing is just going to the other side and you know, taking their guns offline from the rail.
I'm going to get you out of there.
Now that guy, again, it bugged. We did disable his weapon, it just didn't show it. This was something I was trying to do just to save some time. You'll see in a second that I break this with a batarang after we take these guys out, but I learned that you're not able to do that before you take them out, so that was new news to me. So we'll go ahead and jam this guy's gun, and then from there we can just drop straight on him and take him out. Again, that guy looks orange, but he is hacked. Or, you know, his gun's hacked or whatever. So, once we're done with that, we run over and then we'll just hit him in the face. And that'll be that. Then we'll go back up and we'll throw the batarang this time. It'll go through. The way you're supposed to do this is you're supposed to go through the door and then run up the stairs. Just a bit of speed running tech there to get to it a little bit faster.
Criminal, wanted by the cops. Just stay quiet. Maybe he'll leave. Don't be stupid.
Why would he do what he just did if he wasn't here to help? If you're so sure about him, why are you whispering?
Will you two shut up?
That must be the fire door Gordon engaged. Gordon, open the fire door in the train depot so I can disarm Firefly's bomb at the north end of the bridge.
Get off this frequency! Now!
Listen, I'm on my way to disarm the bomb at the south end. Have this door open by the time I get back.
So as we come out of this conversation, we're going to turn around and we're going to go this direction. And for whatever reason, there's an invisible wall here for me every single time I come through here. So the only way that I can get past it is to go up here and then drop back down on the other side of the invisible wall, which is rather stupid, but that's what I have to do. So this section here is kind of a pain in the ass, and when I first started routing this game, I didn't think it was possible to get through this without taking damage, because there are certain areas where you grapple and you could just get hit by fire. Like, you'll just grapple through the fire and you'll take fire damage. I don't know why Batman jumped over the side instead of jumping to the rail, but that happened. So the way that I go through this is very, very specific, and I'm going to explain exactly what you have to do to get through this without taking damage every single time. Luckily, it's basically doing what the developers intended, just doing it very slowly. So we're going to put the remote claw line down. We're going to move until we see the prompt to grapple, but we're not going to grapple from there. If you grapple from there, you will take fire damage. So what we need to do is back up and then edge in until it basically is just appearing, and then from there we can go and the fire will just stay on your left and you'll barely miss it. From there you'll walk all the way to the right until you can't walk anymore, and then you'll hit the grapple like I did there, and that'll perfectly put you right between the fire so you don't take the fire damage. From here we'll take this guy out, then we'll grapple up, and then we'll go ahead and remote claw these two guys up onto the other gargoyles, and then we can proceed. Alright, so we have a room full of enemies with various things, to include shock sticks now. There is a guy with a gun, so we're going to path over and we're going to take him out to start the fight. And then we're going to turn around and go ahead and battering the guy with the shock sticks, and then, you know, do our normal method to clear the room.
Southbound trains are experiencing significant delays. Thank you for using the GTC.
Only one more bomb to go, on the opposite end of the bridge.
Sir, I have those fire door codes you asked for.
Okay, I'll call you when I'm at the door.
I want to see the look on the cops' faces when I blow this bridge into Christmas music. Keep your distance. Don't provoke it. The bomb squad is nearly here.
I need to get to that last bomb before Gordon and his men force Firefly's hand.
So as we go through the door here, it's very important that you run as quickly as you can to the location that I do. And then you're going to corner cover here and wait for the guy pathing to basically pass you. For whatever reason, he's not close enough, even though I feel like he should be based on other experience with other enemies that you're able to corner cover takedown. But for whatever reason, this one's not close enough, so just wait here and he'll pass you by, and then you can just take him out. Now once you take him out, you're going to go up here, we'll take out the sniper, and then immediately following that, we're going to go ahead and jam the guns for the two guys that are on the platform across from us. After we've done that, we're going to go ahead and drop down and run to the other side of the room because the last guy is going to be over here. So we'll want to wait until he turns around, and once he turns around, we can go in for the takedown. Once we take this guy out, the one closest to us will be passing by. We can just grapple up and do a ledge takedown on him. And then since the gun is jammed on the other one, we can climb up. Sometimes he'll see you, most of the times he won't when you climb up. If he doesn't see you, then you could just do this. If he does see you, just glue grenade him up there and take him down.
All right, all units, we are breaching. Move in, people.
Gordon, I've defused 3 of the 4. Alfred, open the fire door.
Alright, so this is probably one of the hardest sections in the entire game to do no damage, because Firefly will actually shoot fire into this area if you take too long. So as we come in, we're going to jam the gun on this guy, and then we're going to glue grenade throw on the ground to explode and hold everyone in place. And then we're going to start hitting everybody. Now, I'm going to dodge roll back and away, and this is the only place that you're able to dodge roll, simply because there's flames and fire on every other edge of this area. And because you can't, you know, really precisely control the distance that you dodge roll, you're not going to be able to stop yourself from dodge rolling into flames and taking damage. So you need to segregate yourself to this side of the area whenever you dodge roll back towards a wall. And the other thing is you have to do this quickly, because if you don't do that fight quickly enough, then Firefly shoots in and he puts flames down in that protected area. And then you'll have no place that's safe for you to dodge roll towards, like, the wall. So it's difficult because of the limited space and what you have to work with, and basically there's a time limit on doing it all. So the Firefly fight is fairly scripted, so as soon as we come out of this, we want to be spamming our glue grenade. When we throw it at him, he'll reposition to the left, he'll then shoot flames, we'll dodge roll that, and then we'll try and stick him. If we don't get the stick, we'll have to dodge the next one, and then we should be able to get the stick. Now from here, we're going to hit our regular batarangs, not multi-batarangs, and on the third set that we send, we want to glue grenade again. Unfortunately, the game kind of bugged there, and we had to do it a couple times, but that's fine. So I'm going to use this car to keep me from moving forward whenever I use the glue grenade, because I don't want to go into the flames. Now, when he gets dazed there, the game wants us to pull him with the back claw, but we're just going to glue him again and rinse and repeat the same thing. The other thing I want to point out here is that you need to stay relatively close to him, because if you're too far away, your glue grenade will take too long to reach him, and he will get an attack off, and if he gets that attack off, your glue grenade won't work. He'll burn your glue grenade as it's coming to him. So once this happens and he's kind of dazed and that little animation happens, that's when you want to go ahead and back claw pull him, because at that point, you can no longer do any damage to him. So you don't have a choice but to do this sequence. So once we come out of this cutscene, you know, there'll be a little bit of an animation thing, and Batman will jump over the ledge. And we'll get pulled into another like little mini cutscene that'll show you, hey, grapple here. Well, the problem is you cannot grapple from there. If you grapple from right here, you'll take fire damage from the fire that's right in front of you on the ground. So what we need to do is we need to turn around and run and jump here and then grapple over so that my path to get up here is clear of fire. From there, we're just going to move forward and grapple up to this next section. It looks dangerous. Firefly can't actually hit you with fire there as long as you're moving. So we're going to crouch and we're going to wait for Firefly to do his pass, and then we're going to run through. You have to do this quickly because Firefly will shoot again right there. You saw at the bottom of the screen. But we're going to jump across here. We'll move towards the trailer here, and then we'll be pulled into another cutscene. And then we'll have to run for this and slide under. It looks dangerous. As long as you're moving, you won't get hit from that. Now, once we get here, the boss is going to turn and like go to the other side and start throwing grenades. On the second grenade throw, you need to be running towards him so that you can glue grenade him. If you don't do that, he will flamethrower at you, and it's very, very difficult to kind of deal with the RNG from that sometimes. So if you do what I do and you get close enough during those bombs, you'll glue grenade him, and then you're just going to do the same thing you did in phase 1. Make sure you're close enough that you can you know, do the 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and then on the third 1, 2, 3, boom, glue grenade goes out, and you should be able to catch him with it. So we're going to do that here until he goes dazed. Once he's dazed, then we're going to have to go ahead and do the pull. Now, immediately following this pull and the animation that takes place with him breaking his wings, Firefly is going to fly to the other side, and he's going to start launching bombs. If I remember correctly, it's 5 sets, but point being, you're basically going to run around this area, and you want to end up in the middle when the final set is done. And if you do that, his final set will not touch that middle area, and then basically the fight is over at that point. All you have to do is grapple to him, and then we'll go into a couple of counter quick-time event type sections, and then the fight's done. So what I like to do here, and you can see from the bottom right keyboard and mouse input, is you need to be smashing the counter icon. So as he flies up into the air is when the counter, and then right here when he aims the gun at you, that's the second counter. But if you're mashing the button, you'll always get it, so you won't have to worry about the timing of it. And then that's it. That's the Firefly fight done without taking damage.
Alfred, I am in your house. Bruce, Bane, come home. Say your goodbyes. Once you've had time to turn grief to anger, then you'll be ready to face me. I have left enough life in him for some final words. If you hurry. Alfred!
Alfred! Alfred! My detective vision is down. Hang on, Alfred.
There, that should do it.
Alfred! Alfred!
No.
Alfred, can you hear me? I'm going to get you out of there. Alfred! Alfred!
Alfred, you can't.
Come on, damn it!
All units, code 10. This is code 10 confirmed at BlackGate Prison. Suspect identified as the Joker.
I know I haven't always been supportive of what you do, but I understand now. Go They need you out there.
I can't defend Gotham. I can't even defend my own home.
Master Bruce.
Multiple casualties reported. Code 10. Repeat, code 10. Any available unit. Repeat, any available unit. Please respond.
Master Bruce, now is not the time for doubt.
I can't do it. I can't stop them.
No, you can't. Not on your own, but it's high time you realize that you are a man, not an island. And a man's strength comes not from just brawn and intelligence, but also from his allies.
C1 alert. The Joker has escaped from his cell and is leading the riots at BlackGate. Repeat, the Joker has taken over the entire prison. Multiple casualties, multiple hostages. Again, we have lost BlackGate. Captain Gordon is calling on anyone for assistance.
They need you.
No. They need us.
Alright. Final section, more or less, of the game. This is like one of the coolest cinematics in the game, too. I love this one. Alright, so as we gain control of Batman, we're going to want to go ahead and make sure we have our disruptor. There's one guy with a gun in this courtyard. And we want to go ahead and just jam his gun so that we don't have to worry about it. Then, similar to the Firefly section, we're going to glue grenade the ground here and try and stick as many of these guys as we can. From there, we're just building combo, doing multi-batterings until we can do our takedown, and then we're going to do that, so. Nothing new here.
Repeat, this is Captain Gordon. I need someone on the inside to secure the front gates to BlackGate.
Now, for whatever reason, I was confused why so many guys were still up, and I hesitated there and lost my combo, so had to build it up again, but it's okay.
Thanks for... I could use your help. Captain Gordon's on his way. Secure the gates for him, then help him lock this place down. The Joker cannot be allowed out of here.
Yes, sir. We're on it. Prison Officer 47 to Captain James Gordon. What is your ETA?
So for pretty much this entire sewer section, there's nothing to talk about. There is a very specific grapple you have to do that's similar to like avoiding the flames on the Firefly stuff that I'll cover, but aside from that, there's really not a whole lot to talk to, so I'll pipe back in once we get to that section.
Something is sending a strong electric current into the water. I should be careful.
Okay, so as we make this turn, you're gonna need to glue these ports, and then you need to line Batman up in between these little rotator things. So you'll see my feet kind of go right in between two of them that are spinning. If you don't do that, you will take damage from one of those rotators, so it's very, very important that you make sure that you do that. For these guys coming in the room, you'll just do the double takedown, do some batarangs, and then you know, finish off the last guy.
This is a little game I like to call Kill or Be Killed. Here's how it works.
Okay, so this room is the hardest stealth room in the entire game, in my opinion, because there are so many enemies here. But what I like to do is, you know, come up here right out the gate, and we're going to drop over, and we're going to take out the sniper. Once we take out this sniper, we're going to go back up, and then what I want to do is I want to use the remote claw to take out the guy with the mines, and the two guys with the thermal visors. So that's what we're looking for. We're looking for those enemies specifically to take out.
Get me down.
You ain't taking it easy on us, so don't take it easy on him. He's gotta be close. Find him already.
Ah, he's got me.
Oh, I feel sick.
How close is the nearest hospital?
Okay, so now that we've got those three enemies off the board, now what we have to do is we have to kind of be patient and segregate enemies. I basically need to get enemies that are alone, and if you wait long enough, the enemies will kind of start spreading away from each other. And there will always be at least one guy that's alone somewhere. And so the go-to method is generally just to glue grenade them. Unfortunately, you don't want to glue grenade them where they're close enough for people to hear them. If I remember correctly, I do that a couple of times in this run. And end up having to wait longer because those enemies, you know, then start coming together again because they're alerted. So like that right there, that's really unfortunate that that happened, and you know, I had to pull back and wait some more. So
I'm in trouble.
now something to note is that this guy is still like glue grenaded, right? Like he's still stuck. They didn't break him out of it. Like in Arkham City, when you would freeze somebody, that, you know, his buddies would come over and get them, right? They don't do that here. Now I almost make a really stupid decision here, and I'm so glad I didn't fuck myself. So I hit that guy to go take this guy out, and as I glide down, I realize there's a damn mine there, and I'm like, oh my god! So I, you know, canceled that mission. Said, okay, well, never mind. I can't go for that, dude. So now I'm looking for other opportunities, and that'll basically play out for the rest of this. And I mean, at this point, there's really nothing else to talk to. I just wanted to make sure I pointed out why I abandoned, you know, going down there and hitting that guy. And it was just because there was a mine there, and I didn't see it until I started that glide. So basically, I'm just going to do what I told you guys was my objective here, which was to glue grenade and segregate and then take guys out one at a time. So I'll let you guys watch that, and I'll catch you on the next section here.
I'm in trouble!
Freaking smart, don't you?
damn it! You want to get shot?
We're tripping over ourselves.
Get me out of this stuff! I'm stuck in something!
I see. I tear down those things up there, and then I'll cut them off. How about there?
Get it off! Get it off! Look out! It's another one of ours! Damn, you're in bad shape. Stay back!
Who it is? My knight in shining armor.
Maybe those hostages know where the Joker's hiding. Are you okay?
What's it to you?
You were almost killed.
Occupational hazard. Look, I know why you're here. He's in the Panopticon, and he's waiting for you.
Alright, so we have a couple of enemies that are going to be up here in this next room, and really we're just going to walk in, we're going to glue grenade the shield, and then we're just going to go through the enemies and, you know, do our normal technique. Now, I remember this clear as day. This gate's supposed to open, and I'm waiting for it, and I'm like, oh shit, there must be a guy alive, because the camera's supposed to turn, and the gate's supposed to open like this, and it didn't happen, so I was very, very lucky there that that guy was not closer to me, because I could have taken a hit off screen because I didn't know there was anyone alive.
Apparently the Joker's afraid of...
So as we go into this next area, we're going to have a crap ton of guys, and about halfway through the fight we're going to get one of the big guys that comes in. Luckily he's not armored or anything, so really we're just going to, you know, stick to the fundamentals here of knocking down who we can, finishing off who we can, and really this section is just a... God, that was so close. If I hadn't been throwing batarangs right there, I probably would have gotten hit from that. Something to point out is that I'm going to keep the big guy glue grenaded as much as possible, and I'm going to use takedowns on the guys with the shield. This area is really just, do you understand the enemy types and how to deal with them all together? That's all this is. And for whatever reason, the game decided to go back towards that guy instead of the guy I was looking at for the takedown. Oh my god, and I remember this. I accidentally hit one of these guys when I'm not trying to, and almost take a hit. Where is it? I think he goes back towards the guy that's glued. And I pull off the counter of my fucking life right here. Boom, right there. You would take a hit if you didn't counter that. I remember my heart was pounding when that happened. That was so scary. So damn scary. We got through it. So as we go into this next room, we're going to have one of the big guys and two of the Venom users. So I'm going to go ahead and glue the big guy. And then what I wanted to do here was go ahead and throw smoke bomb, but the plan kind of didn't work the way it should have. And that smoke bomb is supposed to keep this guy from going into the crate. So at this point, the whole strategy is just kind of awry, and I'm kind of just doing it off the cuff. What I'm trying to do though is build combo on the big guy, so then I can use that to break the venom off of the venom users. And then we finish off the big guy, and then we just have regular guys, and we can just play with them, you know, the way we normally do. But again, like I said, this all kind of just went awry, so... Just another example of, you know, when you're trying to do stuff like this, things will go wrong, and you just have to be comfortable in things going wrong. And being able to deal with that. So what I'm trying to do here is just get this guy knocked down, do a takedown. Right there, the game breaks, doesn't work. So we try it again, get it on the second one. And then we can go take out this final guy and move on.
Let him go.
I understand you. You had a chance to let me die, and you didn't take it. I bet right now you're wishing you had. I've killed a lot of people. I've brought the city to its knees, crippled the police force, and it's not even time to unwrap our presents. Ship it!
Let's do this.
Okay. So, what our friend Bane holds in his hand is a heart monitor. Once he clamps it on, every beat of his bacon little heart will charge the battery on this electric chair. And when it's fully charged... So either you kill Bane...
No, I won't kill him.
But you will. You will fight me with all your resolve, or you will die. Someone is going to die. You, me, or the clown. The question of which one of us it is in your hands.
Alright, so part 1 of 2 for the Bane fight. So right out the gate he's going to start charging us, so we need to be moving immediately. And I can't remember exactly how many charges he's going to do here, but it's going to flow in the exact same way as the first one, where he smashes, we cape stun, and then we're going to do a beatdown, and we'll do the takedown on him right after. The thing with this though is we cannot attack him following this because he's going to go right into charging, so we need to immediately start moving. The other thing that's kind of rough with this is he starts calling enemies in at the same time. So we need to make sure that we're far enough away from these enemies we don't take a hit as we're running, and we don't take a hit from Bane. But as Bane comes in, he'll do his slam. When he does his slam, we're going to glue grenade him, which is going to give us, well, we glue grenade him, and then it gives us time to deal with all the enemies, and then once all the enemies are dealt with, then we can just go back in and start beating him up. So for this first one, we're going to cape stun him out of the glue grenade, and then do the normal stuff. And then we'll go into phase 2 right after this. So as we enter phase 2, he's going to be charging again, not a big deal, but he's going to call in a crap ton of enemies. So we need to stay on the outer edge of this room and just try and stay away from these enemies as much as possible because they're going to be fighting each other. Once he does the slam, we do the dodge. It's basically the exact same, except we have infinite shot gloves now. So the heavy, we can just go and beat up this heavy because he can't block our attacks like he normally does. And neither can Bane, so we no longer need to do cape stuns on Bane. Coming out of the glue, we can just do regular hits. And we're basically going to rinse and repeat this for the rest of this phase 1, or part 1 Bane fight. So he'll charge around the room, he'll slam, we'll glue grenade, we'll walk in, we'll beat down, and we'll rinse and repeat that until this fight is over.
Accept your end. Toot toot, watch out for the Bane train. Fight me. You know, I'm a little upset the bat didn't have the guts to kill to save us. How about you, over here, Batman! Ooh, he is on a roll. Now we are getting it.
Come on.
Alright, so as we go into part 2, really this is just a stealth section. So what I'm going to do right out the gate is we're going to turn around and run the other way. And if we do it fast enough, we should be able to get corner crouched on this wall in time to grab him. And then we're going to want to mash the attack button to push him into this electric cell. Now, one of the things that kind of sucks with this, and maybe it's just my experience, but corner crouching on this is very broken for me. There are a lot of times where I corner crouch and it will just pull me right out of the corner crouch. I don't know why that happens. It is just an unfortunate thing with this game, and it's many bugs. So we moved back, we got him again, we're gonna push him into another cell. Something I didn't point out that might be quick to miss is that right after we beat him up, we need to glue grenade him so we have time to get away from him. So we're gonna glue grenade him. I'm gonna run over here. I'm gonna get under the floor, and then I'm gonna walk back. And because he's so close, it'll give me time to go ahead and get the stealth takedown on him. We'll go ahead and glue him again, and then we're gonna run. Now I know he's gonna see me here, so I kind of slow down and wait for it. Because if you're turning a corner when he does it and you throw the glue grenade, you're not going to get it. So right there, the game keeps breaking me out of that corner cover. Like I was telling you guys, which is such a pain in the ass. Alright, so we're going to slam him into another wall. Now I only need one more takedown on him and he's right beside a fire hydrant. So we're just going to go ahead and glue grenade him. Then we're going to hit that. And now what he's going to do is he's going to slap once, slap twice, and then he's going to turn around. And that's the perfect opportunity for us to go in and get him. Any time that he's trapped in smoke, he will do that. He'll swing once, swing twice, and then turn around, and that'll be your opportunity. So at that point, we've beaten Bane, and that's the fight. We'll go through a little cinematic, and then a little quick time event where we have to shoot some remote claw lines to trap him, but that's pretty much it. That's the Bane fight.
Are you all right? Master Bruce, can you hear me?
Yes. Where's Gordon?
Sniper!
Would you look who's back for more? I've had enough of you for one night. Not yet, you haven't. Son of a...
Alright, so these are the last enemies pretty much in the game before Joker. So what I like to do here is kind of just throw glue grenade right off the gate and get whoever I can get and then kind of hang back and see what happens. From there, I like to keep one of the ninjas glue grenaded and then we can just go in and use our normal techniques and get whoever we can get. Again, you know, if you've gotten it this far, you understand how we're fighting all these enemies, so it's really just doing that again for the final time, and then we can go fight Joker. Oh, I remember this. Gordon ends up killing this dude. Right there, he ends the fight, and I'm like, wait, what happened? And then I realized, because the dialogue is playing, it's done, I can go. And I thought it was really funny and kind of fitting that Gordon gets the last hit there. Alright, so the final area we can take damage in. So as we start this, we're going to need to go ahead and just be mashing counter so that we can stop the gun. And then we're going to run forward, we're going to hit him a couple of times. That'll put us into another cinematic that'll throw the Joker. And then what the Joker will do is he'll pick up some broken shards to try to use his knives. He's going to come at us and we have to basically perfect counter twice. So just smash the counter button. There's one. Here comes two. That's that. Then we need to cape stun him. And then we're going to beat him down. From this point on, as long as you keep doing the beatdown, that's it. The last place you could really take damage was the knife swings that you countered. So this is pretty much just all kick-ass story, quick-time event stuff. And as soon as we get the last beatdown and we go into that cutscene, that is it. The run is done. So if you're still with me to this point, thank you for the privilege of your time and attention. I really hope this no damage run was educational and informative. If you have any questions about anything in this run, please do not hesitate to leave a comment. If you enjoyed this no damage run, please consider subscribing to the channel and turning on notifications so you'll know whenever a new run drops. Don't forget to hit the like button and maybe share this run with a friend or a Batman fan that may enjoy it. Thank you again for hanging out with me for this challenge run. Take care, and I'll see you on the next one.
Any one of my guys would have killed him.
The city deserves better than that.
You know, my daughter thinks you're a hero. But I still have to bring you in.
Gordon, come in. What's your 20?
I'm in the chapel. We got the Joker.
Son of a bitch. You caught him. And how did you do that?
I had some help. I keep asking myself why I didn't bring him in. And I now know the truth is I let him go because of you. Because you believe in him. I don't know. They put me in charge of a station full of rotten cops. And I can't change them. Any more than I can change this damn city. Or at least, that's what I used to think.
Stopped his heart. That is funny. Good one, Bats. Oh, this is going to be fun.
Maybe I can give them something to believe in. Maybe he can give them something to believe in.